What's up, people in the chat? It's me, Joey, and I'm here for your pre-show for today, Monday, September 23rd. Joining me, One Blessing Jr., everybody.
Where do I sit? Are we live?
You're in the middle, yeah.
I'm in the middle. Oh, there's 5 mics.
Yeah.
5 peeps today.
Oh my goodness.
We don't do that often.
Yeah. And you have to sit at that exact height.
It's because you're special.
I'll be right back.
Oh, all right.
I gotta get my
Just
jacket.
kidding.
Oh, it's a good jacket.
So, yeah, we're just hanging out here, ready to get this podcast rolling. Then after the podcast, we get to go to one WWE Raw, which I'm excited for because I've never been to really any of these things. What are they?
Ever?
I haven't been to like a Raw or a SmackDown. I've only done.
Oh, the actual pay-per-views?
Pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
They're cool, dude. I'm excited to see the new place.
That's what I'm most excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have extra tickets too. We could go to SmackDown tomorrow.
Ooh.
You want to make it happen or what's up?
Because I think Andy's going, James Burke is going, Cool Greg's going.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. So we got options. We've got options.
I still need a topic for the show, and I have no idea.
Chat, help him out, please.
Please, I need a topic.
We need some topics.
Make it nasty, chat.
I'm seeing a lot of love for Cool Greg in his interview with Sasha right now.
Is it already live?
No, it goes
Okay.
live next Monday.
Gotcha.
He
killed
did
it.
Such a good job.
I was shocked.
Yeah, he was
Like-
so nervous when we came in this morning. So
He did such a good job.
yeah, he did such a good job. I popped in for a little bit and he was like talking, like he had everything set. He had like transitions to the next thing. Like he was so good. And she like, I don't even think I even really met her this time.
Yeah.
Because she just like kind of popped in and out because they had a quick turnaround. But she was like really cool on like the little bit that I listened
Yeah. She was.
of it. And yeah, I'm like super, super, super excited to see.
It was almost, I don't know if I'm pushing it too far, but walking in, it seemed like they were best friends.
Really?
Talking. Yeah. Like it seemed like they were homies.
I love it.
Yeah.
Ask the KF crew to cast the Face Off remake. The only answer to that is that it would be Greg and it would be Tim.
I don't think I'm familiar with Face
so
Off.
weirdly alike.
Oh,
it's
so
the
good.
Travolta, Nick Cage. Isn't it Travolta, Nick Cage?
Not Jack Nicholson.
Not Jack Nicholson,
Yeah.
like Kevin was trying to tell me earlier.
Oh, were you guys talking about Face Off on Screencast?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that conversation.
Yeah. It's like, wow, Jack Nicholson. That's
Yeah.
wild.
I'm an idiot. Oh, my bad.
Marvel versus DC. I mean, I feel like we've had that conversation a lot between Marvel and DC. And
These are the questions that you're supposed to be taking for your topic, not just
Yeah.
what's supposed to answer.
Damn, Joey, they can only accommodate one guest at a time, so I don't even get a +1.
Oh shit. That sucks.
Yeah, so I guess I'm not going to that. Glad
You don't want to go by yourself?
No, I'm not going to go by myself.
I guess it doesn't really matter because
Yeah.
Screencast is on Friday and we'll all have seen it by then.
That's right.
what
that's
color is the better drink?
Ugh, not that again.
What did Andy say? Green?
No, yeah.
I feel like that was such like that's so specific.
Because there aren't that many green things other than Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
You know the best.
Because like for
And
me,
even Mountain Dew I don't think is that green.
and this might be stereotypical, but purple is fire always.
Fuck, yes.
Thank
all
you.
about that great
Really?
Dude.
I don't love
Yeah.
grape flavor.
I want that purple
drinks.
stuff.
I
Grape Fanta? Fuck, man.
I just don't like
Oh, dude.
grape flavored anything isn't really my jam. I think because it makes me think of medicine.
It's weird because grape flavor doesn't taste like grape.
No.
It's its own taste, but I love it.
It's like blue. It's
Yeah,
what
it's
the
like
fuck is
blue.
it?
It's like, what is blue?
But
Blue
at
is
least
so
with
many
purple,
different
they like
things.
give it a name of grape. Whereas blue, it's like raspberry,
raspberry.
maybe, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just fucking drink it. It's blue.
You guys, I just
What?
remembered I'm going to go see Dave Chappelle on Wednesday.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You're joking.
I'm serious.
You're
dude.
absolutely
Chappelle?
joking.
I'm
You're
so
breaking Blessing's
excited.
heart right now.
Dude, I freaking love Dave Chappelle.
Dude, oh man, I'm very stoked.
Man. Wait, is he in SF?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Damn.
awesome.
Where is he at whatchamacallit?
I have no idea. Didn't buy the tickets. Cheeks hit me up,
Nice.
but I was
Oh.
on Screencast, so I couldn't be like, yes, get me too.
Got
so he's giving me his little +1. It's, I'm excited.
Joe Merton says, "Hello, darkness, my old friend," which I think he was referencing the social post I made for Tim last week when that color drink conversation started,
okay.
and he just looked so
I
heartbroken.
thought he was calling me darkness. I was like, okay, we got to ban him.
Ban him.
See,
like, first of
Dolphin
all-
Corn has it. Like, I think brown sodas are the best because you get your Cokes.
Dr.
You get your
Pepper, they make
Dr.
a-
Peppers. You get your
Yeah.
cherry Cokes. You get your vanilla Coke. And technically, also in the brown thing, sorry, I have in something in my eye, cream soda, which doesn't get enough love as a soda.
Cream
Yeah.
soda always too sweet.
No, cream
No,
soda's
thank you.
so
There was a
good.
phase in my life where I really loved cream soda, and then I quickly dipped out of it, and then just went back to root beer.
Yeah.
Cream soda isn't a regular, but it's like
Yeah.
a
Every
good
once in a while,
a
it's
treat.
like, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you can't have cream soda a second time. I feel like
Only
you have it.
once?
You have it like. Well, I mean, a second
like
time like
one
within a row.
serving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like one serving. It's like, okay, I'm good for the month,
Yeah.
and then like you have it randomly later, and it's fine.
It's so good.
Brianna Harami says, Barrett, I'm trying to do an ATLA interview and would love any advice you have. What is ATLA?
Atla, is that an anime? It sounds like it could be an anime.
I'm
I
trying
don't-
to think of like what anime
I was
it
thinking
is.
of Every Time I Die, but that's the wrong letter.
My brain went to A Day to Remember, but
Yeah.
yeah. But that's not that. Those
Avatar:
aren't
The
the right.
Last Airbender.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Boom. Fucking nailed it, Joey. Thank
Hey,
you.
anime.
I mean, I googled it.
I mean,
it's
it's
not
anime adjacent.
anime, but it's like as anime as you can get on Nickelodeon. You know.
It's true.
I don't have any advice.
Chalk
Just
Zone.
fucking all the seasons are great.
I've never had Earn Brew, but everyone talks about it.
I still need a topic, chat. Please.
Why don't you guys
Do
help me
brown
out?
drinks include
Help.
alcohol? Is an excellent question, Agent Coleman.
Oh.
Whiskey wins everything, though I do really like
Come
tequila.
on, dude. A Coke over whiskey?
What?
Coke over whiskey for just brown?
No, but if brown drinks also include alcohol, that means that I get to play the Coke card and the whiskey and bourbon card.
Yeah. I had some whiskey
And
over the
beer,
weekend.
I guess,
Yeah,
too.
Yeah. Beer.
I don't really like
It's
beer,
great.
but it's a thing. If we're doing that, if we're including alcohol, then I might have to go red overall. 'Cause I
Oh.
do love wine.
Wine. Yeah.
Maybe clear because I really like champagne.
But is it
And then
clear
that
or
would-
is it like yellowy?
But it gets kind of roped in, you know?
I don't think so. I think
I
that they're
think-
different colors.
No.
Oh.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Happens.
Ignacio Rojas asks, Barrett, can you give a TLDR of Court of Owls? No, read it.
Oh, great
Dang,
point.
son.
Great point, actually.
It's one of the best
Available in
Batman comics.
Comixology.
Yeah, ever. Read it.
Scott Steiner knows what he's doing. Go out there and
He
support it. Now, here's my fucking problem, Joey.
What?
When you ask, what's the shift code site
Mm-hmm.
for the URL, why wouldn't you follow it up with the information? There's new shift codes up, Greg. You should redeem them.
Oh.
Why do I have to find out from fucking Fran? You know what I mean?
Because I
Wow.
also found out from Fran.
Is it
I
so
don't know.
hard to just fucking say, hey, Greg, this is what's up?
Yeah.
Not to mention me and Gary Woodda for one day. We're like, every time we see him, we should text each other. That way we forget and we never text each other again about
Hey,
him. You know?
I'll do it because
Do we
I've been
just
like
need a
good
shift
about like putting
code?
them in.
No.
Do we just need a shift code Slack channel?
Not bad. Not bad.
Ooh,
Not
there you
bad.
go.
Yeah, what do you got for me, Kev?
The thing on October 1st is not happening. They can only get me one ticket. I'm sorry.
You're going?
It's non-transferable.
I want you to go. I'm not. This isn't me trying to
You know
stop
that
you.
We'll
We
just go on Thursday. and
Got
watch
tickets
together.
on Thursday? Did you get tickets?
Yeah, I saw that. I bought
Okay.
tickets. I love you guys. I gotta go to the Alamo for this one. So I'll see you later. I'm going to the
All
Alamo.
right, man. Have fun with that.
I will.
course.
You're right.
But
Of
if you want
course.
to come on and talk about it on Screencast, you will.
I will do.
You sinner in your Alamo Draft House.
That's a sinning thing.
Yes. Now it is. I've deemed it now a sinning thing.
Wow. That seems outrageous.
Lexi Gunner says no Angry Orchards blessing.
Oh no.
There you go.
No.
There you go.
That would be awesome.
So good though.
Yeah. No, Angry Orchards are like they're part of my brain. I freaking love Angry Orchards.
We can send
know
Cool
what's
Greg to
even
get you in the Angry
better?
Orchard. Is that what you want? You want to
I
be fucking
mean-
wasted at Raw tonight?
I mean,
Roman Reigns!
Even better than Angry Orchard is when you have a shot of Fireball in an Angry Orchard.
Cool.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I never
That's
tried. That
cinnamon-
sounds awesome.
It's like cinnamon apple. It's so good.
That sounds great.
So you're primarily a cider guy.
Yes. Yeah. Everywhere I go, I ask for
Same
cider.
here.
Awesome.
You drink a cider drink? I'm a cider guy. Cider guy.
That's not the word. But I appreciate your
You can make like a
Crossover.
cider man, like Spider-Man.
Ooh.
Cider
Yeah.
man, cider man. I don't drink beer. Agent Coleman says, find out what Greg's favorite color drink is
Yeah,
if you
'cause you
can.
weren't on another podcast.
I broke Jen's brain when I was explaining it to her. When she saw the thumbnail, she's like, what? And I'm like, you know the color? She's like, what is a green drink? I'm like, Mountain Dew. Like, we just went back and forth with it for a long
But
time.
is it though? That's the thing.
Is Mountain Dew green or is the bottle
Yeah,
green?
like,
I hear
it
you.
No,
is.
it's definitely
No, it
green.
is.
It's
but
a
like,
very light green.
But is that what I meant? Because I
Ah.
don't really even fully know. That's the thing. You know, like
Fair.
during the argument, I was talking about like, you know, yeah, green drinks have these drinks in them, blue drinks have these drinks in them, and then I got to the point where I was like, that's not what I mean at all. I just mean like I'd rather drink a blue drink than a green drink than a blue drink. A purple drink way bottom.
Oh, how dare you?
Wait.
Every
bottom.
time you bring up this topic, you just sound like you just ate like 3 edibles, and you're like, "Yo, like I can't take you seriously when you talk about it."
Have you not seen the Dave Chappelle skit where he's like, I want some of that purple stuff?
Mm-mm.
No?
Which one is this?
Or not skit. No, yeah, for
Oh, not skit, life.
stand-up routine. Like this is one of his specials where he's talking about
Which
like
one is it?
how purple is. I think it's for what it's worth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he's talking about how like this is definitely like it was like definitely a stereotype thing where black kids go to the store and they're like we don't drink grape juice, we drink purple drink. And it was like if you watch the Sunny D commercial,
That's it.
like where all the kids like come from outside and they're like playing in their sweat and they're like, oh, they open the fridge and he's like he's like, all right, I got some green stuff, I got some purple stuff, I want some Sunny D. And if you look at the black kid in the skit, the black kid's like I want some of that purple stuff. Like you see in his eyes. It's such a great Dave
I do
Chappelle skit.
remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
It's so good.
That was a special, I think, right after Killing Him Softly.
Yes.
He's wearing like
Yeah, it was
he's
the
wearing
second
like a khaki shirt or a tan shirt or something.
Yeah,
like
because like Kill Him
That
Softly
shirt.
was like
Baby
2000.
blue.
It was 2001, and then For What It's Worth is 2004, I think.
that's Andy's secret. He's always
It was
high.
like
Guys,
after Dave Chappelle.
I haven't
Show.
been high in ages. It's just what I thought of. at
That's
the
what you
moment.
think because time slows down when you're high,
I
Andy.
just haven't.
So, Greg, answer the question. What's the best colored drink? What do you got here?
That's a tough question, guys.
and doesn't blue remind you of the future? A blue
I
drink,
get it.
you're like,
Sure.
I'm on a
I understand.
spaceship.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
some Blade
See,
Runner type
it's so rare that I drink colored drinks, I guess. You know what I mean? That it actually makes me harken back. So you have to start going through it. I remember when Mountain Dew did all the live wire and colors and stuff. And when
Ooh.
the orange one was my favorite.
Livewire, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that
Livewire.
was delicious. Poe is always the red one, Code Red.
Yeah,
You
same
like
here.
that? Yeah.
So it's a weird thing with me where when we come to Mountain Dews, I'm on a very different area. Like I'd prefer not to drink the green Mountain Dew because that doesn't evoke a tropical sense that I prefer.
Sure.
Like I
Mountain's
prefer
very
Code
tropical.
Red. I prefer
I think
the
blue
blue
is
one.
the most tropical.
Hmm?
I think blue is more tropical than green.
Blue's always fun because you can
No,
pretend
blue's
you're
the
drinking
future,
Windex.
Cody. Blue is the future.
Why would you want to pretend you're drinking Windex?
Fucking end it.
Dangerous. End it off.
But you're not ending it. It's
You've
not
you
never
wanna
seen that
pretend.
bottle and thought like, I wonder what this tastes like?
Oh my god! No, the
No.
fabulosos,
No.
Kevin. Fabulosos.
Fabulosos.
Fabuloso. The
The
cleaning.
cleaning product, yeah.
That- like it.
That's
it be,
purple, right?
yeah, no, it's all sort of different colors, but they had to put out a lot of warnings for like this is not a drink. Please stop thinking this is a drink because it's called like Fabuloso and it's all these like cool looking bottles with different colors inside of it.
Oh no.
And they had to warn like, no, this is cleaning shit. You're not supposed to drink this.
It's
you
so
know?
weird how like as human beings we just want to drink like cleaning products.
Yeah.
Because this is the whole Tide Pod thing
Different
too.
colors.
Just
shit.
like,
Yeah,
looks so
the
cool.
original
Yeah.
Tide
It
Pod.
looks so
It's
cool.
it's
Fabuloso
just
looks
water.
like Fanta.
You need water so bad.
Yeah.
However, it's so boring, just clear, unless it's Crystal Pepsi, which try to change the
There we
game.
go.
You know what I mean?
Kevin, I just
Oh, I
saw
thought
you
you
the
were-
Fabulosa stuff. Pull
I
it
got you
up.
mixed up. I thought you were saying.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm going
You're
back
saying-
and forth. I'm trying to make this thing happen.
I thought you were saying that water and Crystal Pepsi are like the same
Oh,
thing.
it comes in so many different colors.
That's what I'm saying. Look at Fabuloso. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, that does
What?
look
That
fire.
red
That
one
looks like a
looks like a
drink,
fucking.
yeah.
It looks like a Mountain Dew, right?
like-
But
I wanna
look at
freeze
all the
that.
different flavors.
Look at these Fantas that I want to drink up.
I want to like freeze it and turn it into a popsicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Put
blue
that
one.
shit. I want to put this. Oh, you know what I
See,
like?
I guess it's just a good question because right now, looking at this, I'd totally reach for the blue Fabulosa.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I
that
like the
looks
Yeah, right
reddish
now I'm looking
pink
at that
one
green,
though.
like-
The green. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
the
saying.
green looks kinda fire.
The green is like.
that
Ooh,
looks like
the
Okay, that
dark
forest green,
green.
like I get that. Like, okay, that's a cleaning product.
No,
right
but
there.
Yeah, no.
Nah,
Yeah,
give me the
yeah,
pink
the darker
one.
green looks
Or
like kill me.
mouthwash.
But that light
Yeah.
green looks like some green apple like goodness.
Jeez.
A fragrance for
Kick your-
every
kick your feet up
room.
under a pine tree.
Totally.
You know?
Like a gnome. Like a big old gnome.
Somewhere in between that Hennessy and that apple juice color.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Gold.
Perfection.
Oh,
like gold.
Yeah, there you go.
like
And that makes
amber.
sense because you
Yeah.
also love Corona. There you go.
And beer, yeah.
Like an amber. A lot of people were like, "What about dark brown? Like all the good sodas, like just Coke or whatever." But
Yeah.
like,
You want some brown drink? That doesn't sound right
yeah,
either.
but like when I'm, I guess I keep on
Chugging
going back
diarrhea.
to like when it's a hot day. I don't think of like, oh, I want
Cola.
a cold soda. I want like a a Powerade or a Mountain Dew or like a Gatorade or something
Gatorade,
like that.
yeah. Gatorade Orange, that's a classic. I think Orange might be my one because I like the
Wow,
Mountain
yeah.
Dew Orange. I like my
you're leaning
Gatorade
towards
Orange.
it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're wearing
Cool,
your heart on your
Greg.
sleeve, wearing your tongue on your sleeve.
Have you ever had one of those Hulk drinks?
The Incredible
Mixed drink?
Hulks?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because it's Hennessy and like Hypnotic or something, right? And it
Damn,
turns bright
Hypnotic.
green.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Seems
I
like
just
a
had
cool
a
ass
flashback
Astro.
of like high school. Holy shit. Hypnotic
Yeah.
was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Because it was so hard to get, but it was blue and it was like, this is the future.
Sure.
Let me play Fight Night on PS2 or at 360. 360 was like the one Fight Night.
I remember
Oh,
always wanting
yeah.
Alizé because Tupac always talked about it, and then having it and
I
being
don't
like,
know
"This
what
ain't
that
nothing
is.
special."
Caribou Lou,
This is
Tech
bullshit.
Nine.
I have to look up Hypnotic again.
151 rum.
And it was spelled
Too
cool. It had a
much.
Q at the end.
Yeah. It's so blue.
Oh, it's,
when you
it's
mix-
just HPNOTIQ. That's
hot.
cool.
That's how you know it's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look at this fucking bullshit. It's like,
Did you ever drink the kinky liqueur?
Oh, that looks fire.
It's like bright.
Kinky liqueur?
Yeah, it's like bright red and it had like these little glitter sparkles in it. And it looked really cool on the shelf.
What about Goldschlager, which I only know about because of
Nick, come
sit on
Superbad? Look who's alive.
Talking about Goldschlager, I feel like I should be a part of this
Oh,
conversation.
God. How much
You know, it
sleep
has
are you
real-
running on?
You know, it has a real gold flex in it.
It does, I know. And then you poop
I
has the
used to
Goldflex.
get fucked up on Goldschlager
Really?
in high school.
We're
Oh,
in
yeah.
high school? That's what
It
you're
was
doing?
just the thing. Somebody always had a bottle of Goldschlager. Like somebody always
Why?
came through and was like,
Isn't it
"Look
like
at-"
peppermint or cinnamon
Yeah,
or something?
it's like peppermint, but it has gold flex in
That's
it,
a
and we just
Superbad-
thought
Superbad one.
it
Yeah.
was so bougie.
Yeah.
Like because the normal shit we used to drink was either like Bud Light or someone would have like
Natty
Boone's
Light?
Strawberry Farm.
Boom.
yeah.
And those were always like okay, we're just gonna get fucked up and ruin our
Boone's,
lives.
yeah.
But then some bougie rich asshole would always be like, you know what I got? A bottle of Goldschlager. And it would always be in the freezer. I'm like, first off, how are you so close to a freezer at all times? And second off, why is this shit so good?
Yeah.
Ice cold. Ice cold.
Never
What's
had
up,
it.
guys?
Never had it.
Oh, Cool Greg? That's not Cool Greg. That's we gotta send Cool Greg to get a bottle of Goldschlager right now. I'm fucked up on jet lag. Let's just keep this party going.
People were fucking up in the comments of Harry Potter and V were like, man, this is totally missing Nick. Like, Nick needs to be here. It's like, this is one of the best episodes ever. Not because you
Damn.
weren't there.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
you
were there.
because you were there. It's one of the best pieces of content I think we've ever made. And like, yeah, it's so fucking
The
funny,
hooker cruxes. Like Greg Miller, if you're unaware of this,
Yeah.
Nick wrote the plot for Harry Potter in
Yeah,
review.
I heard
so
about this.
So I had to read it verbatim. And as I was doing that, there's these things called Horcruxes in Harry Potter.
the movies. I enjoy Harry Potter.
Nick had it transition from Horcrux to eventually all caps Horcrux.
Yeah.
Throughout
Just
it.
so
And
he
then
would say it right.
eventually-
So he would say it
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Of course,
Eventually,
of course.
just changed it to Hooker Crux, and it
But
got
as
me,
he's
man.
reading the lines, every line is Horcrux spelled WHORE, all caps. And then it gets to the point where it's like, and then Harry
Did you do a find and replace on it, or did you write it each time?
It was a slow burn.
No, and then in the script, in the liner notes, it's, and then he finds the hooker crux. Haha, got you, Tim. Fucking got your ass, Tim.
Oh, it was good.
I had a good time writing that. Picture me the night before I'm leaving for Japan. Danielle's like, we should get some sleep. And I was like, no, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. And she was like, and I'm just giggling to myself as I'm rewriting it for the second time, going through being like, I wonder how much of this shit's gonna actually catch Tim.
Oh, you nailed it, man.
Thank you.
It was so fucking good.
It was really, really funny.
I don't like the fact that every piece of content that we made last week was the best piece of content we made, and I wasn't on it. And I was like this, oh, surely KFAF will dip in views because I'm not on it. And I looked,
75,000 views.
15,000 views in the first 13 hours. Picture of this fucking numbskull with an Oreo on it. Oh, all of a
You
sudden
put
everyone-
Greg and an Oreo on a thumbnail.
God
are
damn,
clicking,
people
man.
love that.
There's a reason
shit.
they subscribe to this shitty channel, and that's why. All right.
That base and Oreos.
Flash forward, I'm like passive aggressively taking out my anchor in my hashtags on Instagram.
Oh, I noticed that. Oh, I noticed your
I know you
hashtag
did.
game. I started
I fucking
hashtagging
noticed
back
it.
game.
I
man.
see it. I see it.
Hashtag war. That's how it is.
Oh, it's so
And
good.
that's-
war,
that's-
bitches.
I'm not saying hashtag WAR. I'm saying hashtag the word war.
Oh, that's even
I
more
saw
meta.
that.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kind of Funny podcast. I'm one of your best friends, Greg Miller, alongside producer / seducer, straight back from Japan, Nick Scarpino.
Woo, what time is it? Because it's morning for me.
Yeah? What, run me through the sleep schedule right now. Where are we at?
So I was telling Tim, I got back on Saturday.
Okay, and it's Monday.
And we were worried. Remember last week I was worried that we were going to get our flight delayed. Well, it was the opposite. We had timed it out perfectly. I was like, we're going to get home at 11 a.m. in the morning. It's great. We have to stay up for like 5 hours. We can make this work. We got laundry to do, cleaning out stuff. Because I just wanted to make it to 6 p.m. before we started to doze off. I was like, we could totally do this. Meanwhile, we're hearing all these horror stories of Fran getting fucking stuck in Dallas because of the runway repair stuff that was
I
happening.
really think
at
it's because he
SFO.
didn't have his shots.
Yeah, well, probably. They don't want to let him back into the state. And so I was like, great, we're going to get delayed maybe, and that'll even be better for us because we'll be on Japanese time for a while, and then when we get in, we'll just go to sleep like a few hours later. No, fucking Johnny on the spot, Captain United Airlines pilot gets us there a damn hour early. Have you ever been an hour early on a flight before? Ever?
That's a long.
Think about that.
That's a good amount.
That's a lot. That's like
she's like 20 minutes.
That's enough to think. Why have all the other flights I've been on taken so long? You know what I mean?
What did you do different?
Like,
this
what the
time?
fuck did you like?
Was it
Did
a better
you
plane?
Was it like you were at 10 for the most part, and then you were like 11 for
Yeah.
a solid hour? We get in at 9:40. I got to stay up for so long. I managed to stay up till 7 o'clock. At which time I go to bed. I wake up at 11 o'clock the next day, and I'm like, yes. I fucking beat jet lag. I'm back on the schedule. I'm going to be totally fine. My wife, meanwhile, woke up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. She had slept for a solid 20 hours and was still like, I need more sleep. She went to bed at 8, and I'm like, cool. I'm going to go to bed at my normal time, which is around midnight. 5 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus
I'm
God.
watching the remake of fucking A Nightmare on Elm Street, which, by the way, is about people who cannot go to sleep. And I'm like, yeah, I sympathize with this.
When did they remake this movie?
They made it like 2001 or 2002, I think, with
No.
Rooney Mara.
It was way later. Than
Was
that.
it later?
Yeah,
Maybe
that must have been
2010.
2009. That was Michael Bay, right?
Was it?
What?
Kevin, can I get an
I'm so
IMDb of
confused.
Nightmare on Elm
They did
Street?
Friday the 13th remake.
Yeah.
And then
They
I'm
crushed
pretty
it,
sure
right?
that Nightmare came out after that.
I mean, Rooney Mara was very young in this, but she's also not that old, so I have no idea.
She the
It's
dragon
her-
tattoo girl?
Yeah. It's her and Laurel from Arrow.
You're going to tell me.
This guy.
I like how we talk about Laurel. We do an impression of her father.
Yeah.
What are those? sound
Friday the
effects you're
18th,
doing?
2009. If
2009,
you would have
okay.
watched it, you'd understand.
Yeah, that was
It's
Friday
too
the
bad.
13th. Can you look up A Nightmare on Elm Street?
Friday 13th, 2009.
Well, it's true, though, because I think that came out afterwards, so it must have been 2010, 2011.
Nightmare on Elm Street 1984.
2010.
2010?
Jackie
Jackie
Earl Haley
Oh.
and Rooney Mara.
Rorschach.
Rorschach, yeah.
Oh, really? Is he? Oh, he's Freddy Krueger, is he?
Yeah, he plays Freddy in this, and does a decent job. Katie Cassidy is the actress that I'm talking about. She was the one in Arrow.
Wait,
and
hold
she
on.
was one of the main characters.
Click on that Jackie Earl Haley thing. Show it to the kids. Yeah, there you go. Click on it. The
Which one?
top one right there.
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger.
You know Jackie Earl Haley.
I don't.
was Rorschach.
Yeah, I
Rorschach,
know that,
excuse me.
everybody.
He was
I
in
just if you
Bad News Bears.
I don't know that. That doesn't ring any bells. Thank you, everybody. But like, you look at him there, he looks nothing like Rorschach, is what I'm saying. You know what I
He
mean?
looks
Had a
more
mask
like on the entire
Dr.
time.
Manhattan.
Well, no, but he had a hat. Remember, he had hair. He had a red hair.
Had a
He had
mask
red.
on, yeah.
Over there, Hispanic heartthrob Andy
Hey
Cortez.
guys.
Over there, Forbes, 30 under 30, aka the second best baby loser in San Francisco, aka the verified one at Tim Gettys.
That's him most.
And then joining us for the first time on his up and comer week. No pressure. Not everyone in the world watching him.
Oh God.
It's Blessing Jr. Hey!
In a dope ass jacket. I
Yeah, dude.
appreciate you
Of
breaking
course.
this out for the show.
Dude, of course, I had to get the blue on blue.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
man.
rock it. I've done this thing now where I look up cool bomber jacket on Amazon because I think that was you that said
Oh,
that
yeah.
on one
That
podcast.
was
it's
me.
definitely
and
him.
it's changed the game.
It did, man.
Yeah.
How much that thing cost you?
Probably
18.
like 25, maybe.
what I'm saying,
yeah.
man.
No, yeah. I have another one.
It's quality, not
another
quantity.
one that you'll see on maybe one like some other day I'm here. That was 18, and let me tell you, man,
It shows.
hot,
Yeah, dude.
hot.
Yeah,
The
get in
problem with
line,
them, though,
ladies.
you go through a lot of them.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? I think oh my
Do you
God.
have this one?
No,
Okay.
I bought the red one when I was going to make my
Star-Lord?
Star-Lord costume. And
Oh.
it came in and I did the dumbest fucking thing. I was like, "Oh, let me try to draw on Star-Lord's like little
Accoutrements.
yeah, all the little
You draw-
bullshit he has."
Did you draw the headphones on?
I drew a rocket on my shoulder. No, I tried drawing it, and then I was like, "This is not gonna work." Immediately, and like, just an
You just
idiot. I was like,
ruined
"Oh,
the
there goes
jacket.
$18." Like,
Yeah.
I think it's still in the bottom of a little cabinet. But yeah, I bought the exact red one
Yeah,
because it
dude.
kind of looks similar. But yeah,
And
those
then
things
didn't
they never
you end
hold
up buying like the actual one on Etsy or something like that?
No,
'Cause
I
when you
bought,
ended up-
I bought the actual one on Amazon.
Amazon, okay.
It was very expensive.
Yeah, it was worth it though. You looked great.
Thanks, man.
It was
Yeah.
dope.
It was worth it for one day.
And if you stop talking about it now, you can go again next year, like this year, and
Yeah.
pretend like you never did it.
Oh, that's right.
Because nobody understands
That's a good
social
point.
media. They're not
That's a
gonna
good
know how
point.
to look. Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
that's a good question. Halloween's coming up quick.
I know. What are we gonna do?
Well, apparently we have to go see Terminator. Thanks, Tim.
It's not my fault.
We were gonna throw a fucking Halloween party here. Now we gotta go watch Terminator.
This is how.
Terminator Dark Friday.
This is how much in review
That's
has.
All Saints Day. We can't do that to the Saints.
Exactly.
Drew Brees is gonna be pissed.
This is how much in review has penetrated my life.
Oh God, that
I'm
was a way
sitting
to say
in.
it.
Yeah, I'm sitting in Japan, and you know, one of the joys of traveling abroad is that there's different shit on Netflix in
yeah.
other
Sure,
countries that
sure,
there are
sure,
here. Basically, the only thing I look forward to. Everything else, the culture, the people, the food, the sites, whatever.
Whatever.
You get fucked. What's
You
on
can blade
Netflix?
through different things.
What's on Netflix?
Not even watch it.
And
Just
what's
blade through
amazing
it.
is that shit pops up on your list that you had on your list before that's not available in the United States, but when you go outside, it pops up, i.e. Bad Boys 1 and Bad Boys 2. And I start watching Bad Boys 1,
Of course,
finish
you did
it,
this overseas.
and I go, I was like, wait a minute, because I remember like Bad Boys for Life is coming out, and I don't know if Tim has Bad Boys planned, and I want to go in fresh.
Yeah.
So I had to stop myself from watching Bad Boys 2, which, by the way, I remember being the better Bad Boys. I just want you to know that's how
I
much
appreciate
that's how much
that.
that series means to me.
Yeah, in review.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna get
Where-
Makuga in for that one?
I was gonna say, where do
the
you
plan?
where do you go in conversations? How did you not know we were doing Bad Boys in review?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
We haven't announced it. I was just trying to be like coy about it, but thanks for fucking
Doing Bad Boys in
just
review,
like-
everybody.
There you go.
And apparently
Maybe.
Makuga's coming in.
Maybe.
Bunt, 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 bunt.
And I don't say maybe as in like we're trying to hide things from you. I'm saying maybe as in like, goddamn, we need to stop announcing things early because it's like great. Had I known Terminator was on Halloween and you guys cared about Halloween, probably wouldn't have chose to do Terminator.
We can
Guess
still we
what?
can see an
We
early
did.
Terminator, and then
We can
you guys
delay the in review.
It's not how life works, Greg.
Yeah, it is.
Here's what I think we should do.
The Friday morning show can just be Kevin with a snare drum, just da 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 da. I'm Kevin.
Freestyle.
You nailed the sound of the snare drums.
Dude, I've done it. You know what I
You
mean?
have, man.
The other day I was.
What have you done? What does that mean? What have you done?
The other day, Andy recommended some band, and I was listening, and I was walking. I was like, "That's a snare drum."
Yeah.
That's right there. That guy just hit a snare drum.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Ba, ba, ba.
Just that
like
six snare.
I know,
Tight
right?
snare.
Did I recommend to you like fucking jazz? Or
Nah, it was that band. That was that emo band I put up, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How'd you like him?
It's good. It's good. It's good stuff. What are the names? I forget already.
Yumi and Everyone We Know.
Yeah.
It's just an old band from like 10 years ago that I hadn't listened to.
That's
in a
why I
long
like
time.
it. Yeah, because that's
Um,
definitely right up my alley.
Randomly in the lobby of my hotel, they were playing a jazz version of, I think it was the entire Chronic album. So it was just like ba-dum bum bum ba-dum bum bum, but like that's all
With
they
the
played.
Chronic 1 or Chronic
One.
2000?
So it was like Let Me Ride and
Okay,
like all these
okay.
other things. But it was a jazz like Muzak version of it, but it was really well done. And at first I was like, this is awesome. Day 3, I'm like, do they not have another fucking like Spotify playlist? But then you get into it eventually.
I love it, man.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Kind of Funny podcast. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each coming to talk to you about what's happened in their life. Come on through, Cool Greg. It's
Big
fine.
cat.
Nobody's- Can I have one of
Big
them
cat.
beers? Give me one of them.
Did you
beers.
notice that Tim missed
No,
it?
one or two.
What's going on with that?
No! Fuck, I was so distracted. This is the first time I've ever missed it.
Wow.
Performance from a lot of
Damn
on this
it!
team have been in the
You
fucking-
fucked me, Cool
I'm
Greg.
You know, here's the thing.
Damn.
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, I got it. Can
When
I
we
like?
leave,
yeah.
Can I?
when me and you leave.
You know,
Yeah,
take
yeah.
his place.
And
Bless him.
Damn,
That's
dude.
what I'm
Beards are
saying.
beards.
like Velcro beards.
We've already like we've gotten to the point where the old quarterback is over here under
Time to
like
hang it up?
not throwing the ball quick enough. He's Drew Bledsoe back there, and we got a young Tony Romo in the
course.
on the
Tony
bench.
Romo,
yeah, 'cause
did
that's,
well
what
for
happened,
him.
that's what happened with the Cowboys.
Dude, I know that reference.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I'm right there with you.
That's what
man.
happened with the Cowboys. Yeah, Drew Bledsoe on Monday Night
Oh.
Football. He was holding the ball on for way too long. He held on to it for like 7 seconds, got sacked. I was like, get this
Sure.
fucking guy out of the game. They put in Tony Romo, first throw, interception. I was like, oh, this is real
Wow.
bad. We
Put it-
really
put it-
wanted
put
to
it
bet
Bledsoe
Tony
in.
Romo and win the game.
Exactly.
Really good quarterback.
It'll always break my heart that he couldn't make it work with Jessica Simpson.
Yeah.
You know?
Nick Lachey?
And
Tony
him,
Romo.
him
Was he
too.
a football player
Nick, thank you so much. Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson. Let's just be real.
A fling.
No, not a fling. It was the thing.
A
But remember
four-season
that. You
fling.
remember why they got back together, Andy? You remember why they got back together, everybody?
Planned pregnancy?
9/11.
Did they get back
9/11 happened, right? And
they
then they
still
were like,
together?
you know what? We should get back together. That's what led to them getting married. And I'll tell you right now, any marriage
Wait, what's-
founded on
what led to them
9/11
getting
married? Yeah, wait,
isn't
how did-
going to work.
How did AD
It
lead
isn't
the
going
beef?
to work. 9/11?
Yeah. How
Never
did,
forget.
No, but wait. No, you said they got back together because of 9/11. Then you were like, because they got together because of 9/11.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they got together,
what is
they
connecting
got
back
together
here?
because of 9/11. And any relationship brought about because of 9/11 fears, not gonna last, is what I'm saying.
But like, how did 9/11 like lead?
Listen.
To getting
they,
back
they had
together.
broken up. They had broken up, and they had like gone their
Then
separate
it was the
ways.
fifth anniversary.
Then 9/11 happened, and there was like concern of, are you on the plane? And it was one of those like, they reminded each other how much they loved each other.
Have you seen the
right?
movie
Okay.
Speed? Have you seen the movie Speed?
Great point. Yes, I know where you're going with this.
Do you see what I'm saying? Keanu Reeves, no, it's Sandra Bullock's line where she goes, relationships that are built on like intense situations don't last, and it's true, they didn't last.
Well, no, but see, she did the other way at the end. Remember? And she goes, I guess we'll have to base it on sex. And he's like, oh, well, I'm Keanu Reeves.
So what you're saying is Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson used to bang it out.
Well, yeah, remember that was a big part of their show. Remember, because she was a virgin when they met. Am I the only one who watched this fucking show?
I just don't remember it.
I remember
Dude, if I watch a show, man, I
video.
can tell you anything about it. What do you want to know about Judd and Pedro?
What is that sound?
You think
Greg Miller missed one kind of funny podcast.
about the peanut butter?
We're
Or he
so
kept eating
old.
his peanut butter. I was like, dude,
And then he
that's
denied
cool.
it. And then
He
he
was like, I didn't
denied
do
it.
it. Like, you still got all your
Fuck
fucking
you.
Are you
fingers,
talking about
man.
Real World?
Like you finger banged a jar of peanut butter. We see it.
God, Real World used to be good,
It used
just
to
like
be
this
so
show
good.
currently is.
Oh, it's so
If
good.
you like this show, you can go to
Goddamn.
patreon.com/kindafunny. You can get each and every episode early. I would go over to Cool Greg's house and spaghetti.
He really was. He's leading us along. And he looks like he's enjoying it so much. And you
God
just
bless.
win.
God
But the
bless.
problem is, once you call Cool Greg out on something, he's done with that for life. He will
Greg
never
will
eat spaghetti again.
Cool Greg just fucking crushed an interview with Sasha
Oh my
Banks.
God, how was
He
that?
is on cloud
Killed
fucking
it, dude.
79. Nothing can hurt him today.
Cool Greg looks like he had sex for 8 straight years. Like he's so chilled out and just like pumped up.
I'm so bummed I missed that. Obviously, like I'm super jet lagged, so I didn't wake up till like fucking 12. But
Yeah.
I saw the schedule. I saw that on the schedule yesterday. I was like, oh my God, what a cool and exciting thing.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the episode this week?
No,
or?
this episode is Jack Buser, Google Stadia. We
Oh,
did that right
wow,
afterwards.
okay.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Sasha Banks.
The
is
one
next week.
two. The 1-2 punch.
We've had a lot of content today. It's been good, including
Real
this
good.
show. If you can get early on patreon.com/kindafunny, you can get it ad free. You can get it with a pre and post show. You can see all sorts of cool stuff over there. You can watch this as we do it live. That's
Yeah.
big. There's other things you get for free.
I can't
too.
believe I missed the table hit.
It's very embarrassing
This
for you.
sucks, man. Hundreds of episodes. I've nailed it.
If
Yeah.
you hadn't told us that, you could have just pretended like you made
Somebody
it.
will
I
call
had
it
to
out.
call
Actually,
it out.
Andy
I
called him
called it
out.
out.
Did you call it out?
I destroyed him on that
Because I
one.
noticed Tim
Good
just
job.
in a hypnotic
Yeah.
just gaze looking at this alcohol. And then we did the thumb and there was nothing from you and you were still stuck in that.
A lot of people have been talking about you've been killing it lately in that Ragnarok and all
Yeah.
that jazz, but I don't know, man.
I'm
This is-
slipping.
Yeah.
I was
Unless the
concerned.
alcohol is
I
like
wanted to
either.
make sure that Blessing was getting something if he wanted it. I was trying to be considerate of people. Now I'm making horrible
that was
content.
your first mistake. See, when I walked in today,
Stop caring about people.
I saw, this is how much of a daze I am in. I walked in,
Farted in the room.
I just shit my pants right now. I walk in, Blessing sitting at the very first desk. I have not seen this man since prom. I'm
saw you
sure
at RTX.
we were very excited.
Oh,
I haven't
RTX.
seen you since prom. Okay.
You literally invited me for pizza and then disappeared.
Oh yeah, I did do that. That's right. We were at that party.
Nick came up to me.
And,
Nick came up to me like legit like 5 times. He was
I
like,
was like,
"Yo."
VF313.
Yeah, he
I
was
was
like,
like,
"We're gonna."
I was like, Blessing, don't get fucking comfortable, because any second now we're gonna go get pizza with
Yeah,
Andy.
and I was so hyped because I was like,
And
"Oh,
then
I've never had VF313. I've heard such great things. I'm gonna go get pizza with Nick and all the other kind of funny guys. It's gonna be a great time." And all of a sudden, like 5 minutes later, I was like, "Hey, you might see Nick. Is
Yeah.
Nick around?"
He's like,
cut
oh,
to
no, he
me.
went to pizza.
Cut to me halfway back to my hotel, not eating pizza.
Whistling, walking all happy, not care in the world.
No, but this is how fucked up I am, how dazed I am. I walk in, Blessing sitting at the very first desk as you walk in, and I looked at it, I was like, "Hey, Blessing," I just walked by. And then I walked back and talked to you guys for 15 minutes, and then I was like, "Fuck, Blessing's here. I should go back and say what's up to him." Sorry about that.
Nick Scarpino.
That's all
ladies
good.
and gentlemen.
If you don't have any bucks to toss our way, no big deal. You can go to youtube.com/kindafunny, roosterteeth.com. Podcast services around the globe each and every Friday. You guys, one big episode with ads, no pre and post show, no support for us, other than, of course, the downloads and the likes and the reviews and all that stuff you should be leaving as well. Blessing.
Sir.
A lot of people are watching this and they're like, I like the cut of this guy's
Oh
jib. Who are you? Explain yourself to these people.
So my name is Blessing Adeoye. I'm a part of a site called okbeast.com. We do articles, videos, podcasts, all about video games and nerd culture. And we're essentially a site that we're we're kind of born out of the Kind of Funny community.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
We've given you birth like a phoenix.
Oh wow.
Or a young
Is that how
fawn.
Phoenix
Yeah.
Wobbly knees.
I thought you were gonna say fetus.
I mean that.
Eat the placenta.
But it's actually kind of it's supposed to be healthy for you.
Thank you.
If you do, Kevin.
Yeah,
But
Yeah, Kevin. Sometimes they rub it on the mom's face.
Kevin, but imagine you just pour a little twang on it.
we drink milk from cows. Like
Kevin, what's that
none
weird
of
thing
this
where
is-
you boil meat? Yeah, you're gonna do that
placenta.
with a placenta, guaranteed.
Oh, Kevin's definitely gonna be one. Like when he has his first kid, he's gonna do something weird with the placenta.
Ugh, guys.
He's gonna make like a chain with like what are the umbilical cord? Just chain. Something like that. It's gonna be a chain with a lock that says Paula Paula.
Nick's back. He's back, baby.
Tokyo but yeah, we make content. And I don't know what else to say.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
I think a big thing is, because I don't think this was clear, OK Beast isn't just a site you work for. It's a
Yeah.
site you created.
Yeah. So I created it in like 2016 because I was inspired by like,
Some cool guys at a table.
Yeah, some people call it kind of
Which
funny.
table?
This table.
It's too
Hey,
late,
you got
Tim.
it. Son.
Too
No, I
Too
got
late.
it back. Right?
Too late,
End of a
Tim.
fucking era. You know what I mean? We might as well just pack it up. Right?
I
Let's
love
go.
my brother so much because he texts me. He's like, "Sorry, player, I didn't mean to distract you." Like, just fucking
Biting
around.
spaghetti?
It's so pure.
But yeah, like inspired by like kind of funny and like other outlets that I'm a fan of, like Giant Bomb and IGN and like all these different. I know IGN is different from like what like these more intimate outlets do, but yeah, essentially born from that, being such a big fan of what y'all do here. And yeah, now I'm somehow at this table.
But you built that into a PAX panel this
Yeah.
year. Which
Yeah, I did.
is the coolest thing to see as people that you constantly are talking about, like, oh, like you inspired me to start doing this stuff. And see you guys do things where it's like, I see OK Beast come up just outside of any kind of funny stuff. And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's such a cool thing where it's like, whoa,
It's
you guys are
so-
getting listens. You guys are getting kind of clout
It's so
out there.
strange because OKB started off as a portfolio for me to essentially be like, all right, I'm gonna have something that I can present to an IGN or a GameSpot or a gaming outlet in order so I can get hired down the road. And then somehow, like, just very organically kind of turned in to an outlet that has a community and has people that like like we have a whole Discord and like people are in there every day talking. We have a PAX panel. We had a PAX panel last month that was like packed, like unexpectedly so. Like it blew all this away.
Packed the same room that we packed one of our first years doing kind of funny at PAX. PAX, thank you there. But it was like literally the exact same room. It was the room where the dad had to take his kid out
Yeah.
because we were chanting
Oh,
"Suck
wow.
that dick."
Yeah. It was also the room where they were like, I don't think you're allowed to have this much bourbon in.
Yeah,
You
well,
remember?
That's every
That's
panel.
almost every
Yeah.
panel we've been at.
We didn't
But,
talk
like,
about this actually, by the way, at PAX this year. Every time before the panel, the leader of PAX panels came up to say hi to me. And I think it was established I'm in the fucking room.
Yeah. This might be your last.
I love
PAX.
it.
You
I
know,
love it.
Fucking
But
watch
seeing
your
the
ass.
pictures that you guys posted of that room being filled, I mean, that is no small
Yeah.
feat.
It's still super wild to me, especially PAX. But then like we also have like Extra Life that we did, and we like each year we've been raising more and more money, like way more money than like we expect. It's grown so weirdly and so organically, and then yeah, it somehow turned into like a thing of like I want to do this so I can get hired somewhere to now being its own thing, having a team of people, having my friends Alex, Brandon, and Ian in it together, making content together, kind of like how you guys do here, right? But having like our own sort of flavor to it, because of us and because people are, seeking it out to listen to us and to kind of be part of our community.
Yeah, I think
So-
a lot of it, because it is so personality based and so personality, like that's where a lot of the strength in what we do and what you all do and what Giant Bomb does. It's like, the community members, they get latched onto these personalities as opposed to, I feel like where IGN and GameSpot, you go there for kind of the news, but you don't, not everybody sort of goes to those sites for
Yeah,
the people that are kind of behind
because like
the logo.
IGN, like there's always like people come and go, right? Same with like any like large outlet, right? Like I mean, you guys like came from IGN or to start this this thing, right? But yeah, with something like Giant Bomb or something like this, or something like Funhouse or something like Easy Allies, right? Like it is a lot more personality driven, which is why I love like doing this is because like it feels more intimate. I think Greg used to talk about like, you know, leaving the reach of IGN in order to like create like, you know, the intimacy of having a community. And OKBeast is like, you know, turned into that, which is like the strangest thing because I did not expect it to go this way.
That's right. Of course, I know a lot of people out there going like, wait a second, I thought we weren't having guests on the Kind of Funny podcast anymore. We're not, because you're Kind of Funny this week.
Yes.
Of course, you are this
shirt.
week's up-and-comer. The Kind of Funny up-and-comer opportunity from January. We already had Chloe through. Blessing is the game side of that coin, here to hang out and do a bunch of different stuff. And a cider man drinking a beer right now.
Yeah.
Just trying to fit in.
I'm just trying to fit in.
And bring him anything.
Drinking not only a beer, we made the
If
joke
you miss quality jokes like that, you're not watching the pre-show.
I missed that.
I am not active cider.
I liked it better.
man.
I don't like beer. I'm
not active. I'm just like lazy and stuff, frumpy.
But that doesn't even make sense. Like, what does that have to do with the cider?
Well, have you ever
portion of
met
it?
someone that likes ciders? I mean, that fucking
nailed them? You know what I mean?
Wait, but like, did you know that he was nailing me? Or like,
I did, yeah.
Oh,
He's
okay.
like, you know,
Okay.
haven't met somebody like ciders. Clearly,
I thought you were just
down
like, just
their
team
luck.
up with me, Nick. I thought it was one of those.
Don't worry about what I'm doing.
Nick's
over here.
back.
Nick's
Right.
back.
Okay, wait. Tim's got something to bring. To the
He
table.
mentioned his shirt.
Yeah, kind of.
Right, you're wearing a Kind of Funny shirt, like
Yes.
a classic.
well, yeah, a revision of the classic.
Fuck me,
The-
I guess
the
everybody. Jesus.
logo shirt.
It looks like the one on
How did you
Reddit.
deal without me? You know what I mean?
Kevin, can you please bring up the
It's like
thing I sent to
The comedy has
Assets?
taught you like improv, right?
Yeah.
Like yes,
Yes,
and
and.
yes, and you toss Tim the ball, he bats
Fucking
it down.
stone wall.
He's like, no,
Dikembe Mutombo.
I'm not gonna play
Stare at
games.
each other in silence.
He's single white
Assets.
female in me over there, the
Jesus,
glasses
the
and the
red
beard.
lights.
You know what I mean?
He's just pissed off he missed the table hit.
Yeah. He's just been out of it ever since that happened.
What the fuck
Oh.
happened with this?
With
Oh.
what?
This thing we're about to look at.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh God. What is that?
What's his?
this is from the subreddit. This is breaking news from the subreddit. It's already been locked by mods. My new favorite hoodie just came in the mail today, audio listener, and it's a quote unquote Kind of Funny hoodie.
Definitely not our merch. And as Andy always says, dude, don't knock off our merch because like our merch doesn't sell.
First off,
Yeah.
if we're not making money off the merch, you fucking are gonna make money off the
but
merch.
there's so much to break down here. Like, first off, the Kind of Funny font, as you can compare to Blessing's shirt,
Very different.
Very different.
Close enough.
But why does the K and the F not line up at all?
Why is the funny so tall?
Why are the eyes so
But
big?
the eyes.
like it looks like
Yeah.
it's been like smoking some like
Yeah.
It looks
whatever
like
you're
it's high
supposed to
out
get
of
though.
its fucking gourd.
Yeah.
Right
Oh,
That's great.
man.
That's awesome.
And
I love
this happened. This isn't the first time this has happened. It's happened
no.
several times where knockoff merch happens.
Oh, you
or
missed the Marvel, Kind of Funny Studio Marvel Studio shirt. We'll put it up every. Don't do that. Don't fucking do that.
yeah,
Chris.
yeah. Or like even designs that I made way back in the day pop up now. It's like this is had to have been the lowest res JPEG you found on the internet, and you're just putting it on a shirt and it looks like garbage, dude. Please don't do this. You know.
I just think it's so fucking funny. I
That's
want that
awesome.
shirt.
I know. I want that too. I want the high shirt. We'll call it the high shirt.
Yeah, or buy it or
Kind
knock
of
off. Yeah,
funny.
we can just sell it.
Y'all
Right?
should make a knockoff of that knockoff.
Yeah.
That'd be
I like
a
your
way
knock.
to
Yo,
show 'em.
dude, I liked your knockoff, so I knocked off your
Let's
knockoff.
make it have
made a
bigger eyes.
knockoff.
We're gonna sell 400 versions of that. No, we never sell 400 t-shirts.
we still have the Kevin.
I was
Coelho.
gonna say if you want to buy the Kevin Coelho Bachelor Party shirt, kindoffunny.com/store.
We're literally paying people to take those shirts off our heads.
Seeing that shirt in
We'll
the
pay you.
wild is just the best because
Hilarious.
it's like, imagine
You're
the
the
type
guy.
of people that wear that shirt.
I think I saw someone. I want to say at RTX wearing it, and I don't even think he wanted to talk to us.
It's just
he was
pure
just like, "Fuck you
confidence,
for
dude."
making me buy this
yeah,
shirt."
I love it.
That or it's the people that are like, I don't listen to Kind of Funny a whole lot, but this is on clearance,
Yeah,
and so this is my way to show.
It's like
my
I
way.
need
Yeah.
a shirt.
Yeah,
When we-
exactly.
I need a shirt.
I think I was going to Square Pie Guys a couple weeks ago, and we were driving down through the Soma district, through the downtown of San Francisco, getting over there, right? And you know how, if you don't know, San Francisco downtown, beautiful on one street. Am I going to get stabbed in the face
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
syringe in the next street?
Hellhole.
And we were on one of the
Escape
bad
from New
streets
York.
going, and I shit you not, this person walked into the street clearly on some kind of drugs and like the raggedy pants, no shoes, and was wearing a giant bomb shirt. And I was like, that's a Goodwill pickup if you know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
you just drop it off and then there you go, and ends up in a
That's-
homeless
that's-
shelter. Now this guy's
And
out there.
that man, Drew Scanlon.
Oh man,
Nicholas, how was Japan?
Oh, Japan was fantastic. It was the first time I've ever been to Japan for not work. So I've been 3 times prior to go to TGS, which is in Makuhari. You've been, right?
Oh yeah, I've been to Macau.
How many times did you go?
I've been to Japan twice. Once for fun and once for work.
Okay. It was a blast. This is my first time going just to actually like hang out and do the things you would do as a tourist in Japan. And
You go to the robot restaurant?
we didn't go to the robot. We almost went to a hedgehog cafe, and then there was another one that was an owl / Bengal tiger cat cafe.
Whoa.
Which you wouldn't think those two go well
No.
together. You would think those would be at
Peanut
odds
butter,
together.
peanut butter and jelly.
They get along like cats and birds. You know what I mean? But that one was closed, unfortunately. And then the hedgehog cafe just felt wrong. We looked in, and it just felt like these little things were in prison. And I'm like, I don't want to support this.
Was it
weird...
Sonic related at all, or
No.
was it just real hedgehogs?
No, they were literally just you just go and you buy coffee.
I just
and then
picture it's like the
you get
most
to pet a
beige
hedgehog.
restaurant ever.
It was like in the middle of this arcade / they call it an arcade, but it's like this long strip that just goes for many blocks of just shops and restaurants and stuff. Very touristy though. Some nice shops, some cool cafes, but for the most part, it's like a giant Spencer Gifts just blew up in this thing, and that's where the hedgehog cafe / owl / Bengal cat tiger cafe was. So we didn't go to those things, but we did get like.
I also
amazing-
don't think you're supposed to pet hedgehogs.
I
I
don't.
love it.
Aren't they like spiky?
Hedgehogs?
Yeah, if they put it out. Otherwise, they're just laid back and you do it.
I mean, they're spiky, but
not
like
with
if you,
porcupine.
it's like when you shave.
Yeah,
Like
you
if
go-
you go, you don't have to go against the
Right.
grain.
Yeah, you go with the
But
grain.
do you know how they get spiky? It's like
they
gel.
collect enough rings.
But well, that's good.
Okay,
That was
thank
real
you.
good.
Pretty
That was
good.
real good.
Thank you.
No, they like throw up on themselves and like
That's nice.
they use their own. Swear to God, they use their own mucus.
If there's
I
one
love
thing to
Sonic so
note-
much. I was
yeah.
trying to buy a goddamn
I had a hedgehog, all right?
Did you really?
And I never saw him barf on himself.
Yeah, they do. It's
He bit me in the
mucus.
arm once.
You became hedgehog man.
I just imagine Grandma Miller came out of fucking nowhere and just ping ponged that thing.
Last thing, remember when I was choking on that coin that one time? Graham Miller was in the other room looking at the turtles. So,
Yep.
Choking on the coin.
yeah. When I was playing jukebox.
What?
Fuck. Okay, hold on.
Wait.
What?
I don't think we've heard this
I
story.
don't
You
I've
just
never
said
heard
a
the
bunch
story.
of nouns and verbs.
Playing
like an
jukebox-
ad-lib.
Hold on. Let me ask a question.
Sure.
Based on the words that you just said,
Sure.
is the story that Greg Miller, young Greg Miller, was pretending to be a jukebox and put a coin in his mouth to then play music?
To sing probably with music, would be my guess.
For the record, that is correct.
Yeah.
I was very bored, and I was laying in our original house, and I was just laying around, and I had a bunch of coins for some reason. And so, yeah, I would drop this nickel in my mouth, and then I would hum a tune. And so, I like...
To
I don't know.
yourself.
Yeah, of course. The third... And Grandma Miller, of course, also so bored. She's just walking around the house.
Shoving
So
coins in your mouth.
She'd walk back to my back bedroom and was looking at Pokey 2, the water-based turtle that I had,
Of course.
and was looking in on him. I remember that. And
What about the land-based?
Pokey 1 was much more boring. He just sat in the giant aquarium. You know,
Okay.
Pokey 2, you never know.
I'm
Is
just
he gonna-
picturing like fire-based turtles.
Is he gonna get off the log and like
Are
swim with it?
Pokey 1 and 2 are the names of the turtles?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I don't think this was pre-established.
Oh, here we go. Everybody.
I've
If we
never
need to
heard
go
this
further
before.
back, of course,
Strap in.
Pokey is the name of Ernest from Ernest Goes to Camp's turtle.
Yeah,
Hence
okay.
the
We have
name.
talked about this before.
Okay.
Okay. Well, wait, Pokey or the jukebox?
Pokey and Ernest, not the jukebox, as
Gotcha.
far as I remember.
So I'm laying there, I'm dropping this
I
nickel
think we
back
would
and
remember
forth.
that.
I'm dropping back the nickel back and forth, and then on one of them it drops, and I go to hum, and it just gets past
Right
the tongue
there.
and turns, and it's all air is gone. There's no air going,
Oh,
and it's like that panic moment as a kid of like I remember sitting up and you can't scream, you try to scream, you can't scream, and I look down at Grandma Miller just looking in on this turtle, totally oblivious to
Horror
her
movie.
choking grandson out here. You know what I mean?
She's like,
And
man,
she-
I like the land-based turtle more.
And so I force a swallow and I get it through and I swallow this nickel. And then I start screaming and crying, of course, because
You
you know
poop it
young
out?
Greg Miller. You assume. You know what I mean?
No, wait, what?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's, I tell grandma calls mom at work. Mom works at the Glen Ellen Clinic at the time. I think she asked the doctors there. They're like, it'll just pass. If you got it down, it's going to go out. And that was the thing. But there was never never a poop where it went clunk and like you heard it or something. You know what I mean? You just assume it did.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
think maybe
That's so weird because I think like a coin is like, it's not like you swallowed a bead of some sort. Like it's a
Yeah.
big thing. It's a bigger
Like
thing.
you feel like you would know
Yeah.
almost the way.
No, I mean, my
Well,
butt
I mean,
will
this is
go.
a nickel.
Yeah.
It's not a quarter or like
Okay.
a
But
also
silver
use a
dollar.
Or
small
like
child.
the, what is it, Sarajuku dollar?
The Susan
Sacagawea.
B. Anthony? Oh, Sacagawea.
Sarajuku dollar.
Hey,
Yeah.
you guys knew what
I
was
would love you
talking
to
about.
write it out. Did you think her name
I
was
got
Sarah
there, dude.
Space Juku? Count Dooku?
Here's the thing, though. Like, yes, a nickel is a smaller coin, but we saw the way Greg looked when he was 18. He looked like an 8-year-old. Like,
First off, I
there's
was gigantic. I'll have you
a smaller body. Like, yeah, like It's a bigger coin, you know?
A nickel?
It's not a small thing.
It's not a dime.
Yeah.
Not that much bigger than a penny.
Yeah.
It's no quarter. No $half.
Definitely not a quarter.
A quarter, I would be like, that's still in him.
Yeah.
You know, the over-under on a quarter being in there, like, yeah, solid 10 out of 10 on that one.
I'll never forget when we were younger, my brother was way more adventurous than I was, always jumping off of things, breaking his head open. Fucking makes a lot of sense when you think about it. But remember that one time, Kev, when he swung backwards on a monkey bar and cracked his fucking head open? Anyways.
A lot of blood.
We've all been there.
So much blood.
So much blood, so many stitches. But there was one night where he just would jump off my mom's bed and stuff because he's a fucking idiot. Little boys are all stupid, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like there was these little tiny beads, and he stuck one in his nose, and it got stuck, and like he couldn't breathe out of like whatever, and it turned into this whole issue. And it was like, fuck, we have to take it to the emergency room. We took it to the emergency room. They eventually got it out, and they did like X-rays and shit, and he had like 3 up there. like this one caused an issue, but there were some others that were just chilling there for.
How'd you get a
for
baseball
God
up
knows
there?
how long.
That is fucking hilarious. God bless him.
hate it.
Well,
Okay.
okay, must hate when you talk about him on these
I'm
podcasts.
sure he does. I'm sure he does. But so you were a jukebox.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you do that ever again after
No,
this?
that was it. You learn your lesson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once bitten, twice shy, they say. And
What songs were you humming?
You know, that's a great question.
It's
Tim.
once bitten, twice shy.
In the moment of that's what I was in the moment. I don't know anymore. You know what I mean? It was such panic that it erased all the information. I think I was composing my own. Like I don't think I was doing anything. You know, I wasn't doing any Allman Brothers or anything.
You're
to
an
that front.
artiste, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't want to be a hack. You know what I mean? Because this is when you're a little
I'm not
kid,
a cover
right?
band.
When you're a little kid, you never know what you're gonna do. It's like when I wrote about Hurricane Andrew. I was like prepared for anything in life. You know what I mean?
No.
No, I don't know what you mean.
I remember watching Grandma Miller's house. You know what I mean? Parents are at work. They're doing the coverage of Hurricane Andrew, right? That's in the 90s sometime, right, Kev?
Oh, yes. I remember Hurricane Andrew.
Yeah, and I remember writing about it. Like I was not journaling as much as like chronicling Hurricane Andrew for a little
So
bit.
wait, this wasn't a school assignment.
Oh no. I was just.
This
chilling
is
out.
just Greg Miller at home
Yeah. Grandma
writing
Miller's
about
house.
a hurricane.
The shag carpet.
You know what? I always had
Hurricane
92.
Andrew, 92. Nailed it. See.
There you go.
I always
Greg's a
had
9-year-old
I always
boy.
had dreams about like having a journal, having a diary of some
Sure.
sort. But I never really felt like I feel like maybe I did it 2-3 days in a row.
Yeah, that's how it always starts,
I
right?
got tired of it.
I have a couple of those I remember starting.
Like I was like, this is a really cool looking notebook. It's got a cool like, it's hard bound or whatever. What's what I'm looking for?
It looks like one of those
got a good
chemistry
spine?
notebooks.
Yeah, like a good spine. What?
Like a chemistry notebook.
Yeah,
You ever
yeah.
see, like people, comics use those all the time. I see them; they're all beat up. They're like,
They
know,
look
they're
like cows.
Wait,
but,
you
you
mean
know.
chemistry? Mean like a composition notebook?
Yeah,
Like
remember
that
those are
cool
like
black
the
and white.
black and white
yeah,
one with
those
the
The
were
ones
dope.
that Harriet the Spy had.
Yeah,
Sure.
like the cloth spine,
Yeah.
and they would be like,
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
beat them up, and it'd be cool. And like,
Who
you'd
was
take
Harriet the
notes.
Spy? Who played
Michelle
her?
Trachtenberg.
There we go.
She helped get the Russians out.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know
I
what
was
she
about to say,
did.
wow.
I watched a Nancy Drew movie on the way
With
back
the
from
It Girl?
Japan. Yeah, with the It Girl.
Yeah.
Not good.
Wait,
Yeah.
the
Not
young
bad,
It
though.
girl?
Yeah.
Number 1 It girl.
Yeah, the one that plays
The redhead.
yeah, the
Gotcha.
The
redhead.
girl.
The girl
Same haircut.
from the HBO show that I liked a lot, Sharp Objects.
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
that checks out.
She
Good show.
definitely has a type.
The Nancy Drew
Spooky
type.
girl.
Yeah.
She's a spooky
Well,
sure.
girl.
Okay, well.
Yeah, because there was
Is
some
Sharp
spooky
Object
stuff happening.
spooky? I think
Yeah,
it's spooky.
yeah, it is spooky. Yeah,
Cool.
There's spooky stuff happening
Well,
there.
there you go.
There you
Joey
go.
didn't like sharp objects.
Joey's an idiot.
Really weird.
I mean, do we have to say it over and over
Sharp
again?
Objects didn't like
She's not in
her.
the room, Kev.
She's not in the room, Kev.
I feel like Joey just has a lot of shortcomings. One, not liking sharp objects. Two, picking screens to watch movies on. Just
It's true. If we
I
talked
put
about
that,
it once.
here's the thing. I put that out there knowing fully well that in approximately
Yeah, no.
2 minutes,
On my
Joey's
counter.
gonna walk in and do the fucking look at me. She goes, "Oh, I don't like you." It's fun for me. I
Here,
miss
did
it.
you see while you were gone over the weekend? Well, I guess you might have been back, but like in your away time,
Sure.
Joey went and was a bartender at a wedding.
No,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah.
How'd that happen?
The bartender at the wedding didn't show up, and they're like,
So
"Oh
she-
God!" Joey's like, "I'll do it."
Oh, I thought that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really
But
cool.
like, what
You thought she was
what drink would
moonlighting?
you have forced her to make you?
Oh,
Because that's what my mind jumped
That's a
to is how we would
great
torture Joey if we were at this wedding,
God.
right?
yeah. I don't know. Well, the problem with the wedding drinks is that you only have like 5 drinks you can make with those shitty wedding bars. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Those little rollaway bars, like the one we booked for the opening party we had here, where it's like the guy's like, "Can you make a Sazerac?" The guy's like, "No, dude. I can make a vodka tonic. I can make a gin and tonic. I can make a Jack and Coke.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
This is what I'm making."
She is. Look at she's shaking her
There
head.
she is.
Love you, Joey.
Get
Come
on-
tell
get on
me to be a
Sharp Bite.
bartender. Come be a bartender.
How'd you get roped into be a bartender? Did you need the extra cash that bad? You're like,
No,
fuck
I
it.
didn't even get paid for it.
Oh, fuck that. I would have put a tip bucket out and be like, I'm doing this shit for free.
I went with my mom to help set up for like her best friend's son's wedding. It was like one of those like hometown backyard weddings, and then the coordinator was freaking out because someone bailed out of being a bartender, and I was like, I was gonna play Borderlands, but you seem like you need help, and I'm gonna be a nice person.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was super
I thought
fun.
that would be fun.
What was the
'Cause
most
there's no
complex drink
pressure.
you made?
They just had batch cocktails and beer and wine. It wasn't anything super crazy.
Batch.
Like signature cocktails, like some sort of punch thing and some other things.
So
Oh,
she knows.
Oh, I thought it was short for bachelor. You mean just like a batch,
No.
like
Like a
B-A-C-H?
batch.
Got some batch cocktails.
Yeah, I thought that was
Got
like a cool.
some rye and some batch
I
cocktails.
thought that was a cool
over
like
here.
a bartender term.
No,
And I was
I'm
like,
not that
wow.
cool.
I feel like
Flexing the muscles.
it would be fun because there's no pressure, right? Either
Zero
way, if
pressure.
you fail, you're doing them a solid, and if you crush it, you are the hero and savior of their wedding.
Yeah.
So
what I
like,
joked around about was that Joey was telling me, like, I was like, oh, so was it cool? And she's like, oh, yeah, there was a bunch of people I hadn't seen in a while there. And I was like, oh, I would have gone the opposite way. If, like, kids from like high school
No,
walked
these are,
up and
like-
I'm cleaning up class, like, oh, my God, that internet thing didn't work out. Huh?
that would have been sad.
It's been rough out there.
No, it's like all of my parents' friends that like I grew up with, but I haven't seen in like a while. So
That's really fun.
yeah,
That's
I
really
didn't have
cool.
to
That's good of you.
avoid like people my age at the wedding, which was nice.
When I used to, when I shot a lot of weddings back in the day, I got into the groove of to the point where I was like, I could legitimately be a wedding coordinator. And one of my buddies, I was like his, I wasn't his best man, but I was in his groomsmen party. His wedding was a fucking nightmare because the coordinator was just dropping the ball. So I'll never like. I basically was like, let me just tell people what needs to happen. And from the point after the ceremony, right when the entrances and all that stuff, I was just like, here's what we're gonna do. And I laid out the schedule for them, and then I made them stick to it, and it was phenomenal. And they were like, you actually saved our wedding. And I was like, great. And then they almost got divorced. So that was like years ago.
That's
But
my
they're
problem
fine. They're
with
fine.
weddings is I want to be that guy all the time. I need to just turn it off. And
You
be
gotta turn it off.
Don't tell people what to do. Just let them fucking make their failures as they choose.
It's not difficult because it's one of those things where it's like
What a synopsis for a wedding. Let them make their failures as they
well,
choose.
because people always try to reinvent the wheel, and you're like, no. Weddings have happened for thousands of years. In the last 20 years, you can go back. You got a lot of data on what you should and shouldn't do for weddings. Like,
Or-
don't break from the pattern.
Or break from the pattern and just don't do the things that aren't going to work no matter what, but yet people do them constantly. It's like, guys, literally, just do some self-reflection. What weddings have you been to?
That sucked.
What part did you enjoy?
Right.
Do that. What part did you not enjoy? Don't do that.
I'm always a big fan of the 2-hour ceremony at the church. Let's all do that over and over again.
over
I think
and over again.
Oh God, that's
Jeez,
the worst.
That's like
that's the worst.
My whole upbringing was, growing up in a predominant. Well, on my mom's side is very, very Catholic, of course.
Oh,
so
God.
that Jesus.
Catholic weddings,
the
like a
church
traditional
part
Catholic
took
wedding.
so fucking long.
Like when they
dude.
do an actual mass. Have you ever been to one of those?
Yes.
Where like
Not
we're gonna do a
fun.
mass first, and then
Yes.
you're gonna get married. We went to one. I think one of our friends was like an Orthodox wedding, and so they had like the dual language, so it took twice as long. I was like, oh my God.
That wasn't even a Catholic thing, though. Don't be throwing shade at the Catholics, all right?
Catholic weddings suck.
Okay, first off, no, you're crazy. It's
I don't know. I'm Team Nick on this one.
Dude,
they're so long.
They're
They're
so
so
long. And then
long.
everyone's got to get the Eucharist. It's like,
Do you ever?
you know what I
For audio listeners, he stuck out his tongue.
mean? Give me the Eucharist.
You know what I love? What I love. And Kevin, I sent you something pertaining to weddings, but this is for what I love. A good Catholic funeral. When they come out, they got the incense on the fucking chain.
It's cool.
You're
That's
like, man, I'm gonna miss Pop Pop, but it smells so good in here. You know what I mean?
But also, like, there's some mythical, magical things happening in this room right now. Like, what if a dragon summons out of nowhere? That's what I always thought as a kid. Like, yeah, because this magical guy in a cool robe swinging like smoke from a weapon or
Sure,
something.
anything can
Like,
happen. Kevin, throw it up here. This is from foodandwine.com. Portillo's will cater your wedding with a cheese sauce fountain and plenty of hot dogs. This is news that broke. They now have a cheese sauce fountain. So Jen and I clearly have to get remarried.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is amazing.
Well, I mean, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's
but will
let's
they
go
do
big.
it here though?
Oh, I doubt that. I don't know. Kevin, scroll down. We didn't
We
research.
know
You can
some
get married in
guys.
Long Beach.
Yeah,
Let's
I
go.
don't care. Yes.
Oh, you can.
Exactly. Go back down there.
Fuck,
It'll
cares,
run
man?
couples $900. What?
It's nothing.
I've often thought, here's my pitch for you.
Yeah.
You get married, right? We sell tickets. and I make money off of it.
Dude,
How does that work out for you?
Trust me, I don't know if we've ever actually talked about this on the show, but young Greg Miller did float it past Jen of like, what if we just held off and got married at Kind of Funny Live 3?
That could happen.
And she's like, fucking no.
Yeah.
We just talked about how we want to do something small and intimate.
Yeah.
No, you can't marry.
It's
Get married.
1,200 people. It's fine.
No big deal.
I was hanging
1,200
out with
close friends.
Josh McCouga like the weekend after me and Gia got engaged, and he was telling me, he's like, dude, I have all these ideas for you for your wedding and stuff, and I'm like, I'm all ears, baby, let's go. And he was just like, he's like, dude, me and Amanda influencered it out. It was just like, I got hookups from every bar company, from all these, like, he's like, what beer are we serving? Whatever they'll give us. I don't give a shit. And like, he went through, and if you look at the pictures of Josh's wedding, it's the most hashtag sponsored thing I've ever seen. And I'm just like, dude,
Totally.
that's hashtag goals. Let's fucking go.
Back
So
in,
if you have any hookups for wedding shit, hit up your boy.
in the early days of me at IGN, when I was engaged to a different person and I was getting married to that person, I did the same thing of thoughts about that. I was like, well, what if we talked to, because we were broke as shit trying to throw a wedding. That was a stupid idea. Number one, someone probably shouldn't be married. Of like, hey, like, what if we did like PlayStation kiosks or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, and that was like long before that was like we're in the world we're in now. Where that was ahead of the game.
My sister had VR at her reception, like a
Sponsored?
VR, not sponsored, no,
Okay.
but just like VR booths. It was like phone VR. It wasn't like PlayStation VR, but I mean, it's an idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got to
feel
keep
like it would
these
be
idiots
so
entertained.
sweaty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, like when you're in, well, because I just, I immediately think of
You get
all the
down on
weddings
the
that
dance
I've been
floor.
to. Yeah, I mean,
No, you have to have the person that wipes it off and like gives it to the next person.
oh, that just seems
Uncle
like,
Leo.
because like
Uncle Leo would definitely do a great job.
every
of that.
wedding I went
Uncle Leo's
to-
gonna get drunk in about 15 minutes and not do that shit anymore.
every Latino wedding I went to was in the biggest.
Sorry, what kind of wedding?
Latino was in the biggest wedding or the biggest room possible, just a giant ass fucking
Community
warehouse
center
with
or something.
7,000 people in the goddamn wedding, and it was hot as shit always.
Oh, yeah.
You miss it, don't you? You think back and you miss those nights. The dollar dances, right? You're there, your tie's undone, your shirt's a little bit undone. You're just shaking
Just
it.
wanting to get out of there.
I remember going to a wedding in Jersey. It was my first time ever being to New Jersey as a child, and like every Italian wedding is exactly the same. You've got like the young people who are actually doing stuff, but there's always like the 2 or 3 tables of old ass Italians that just once they find their seat, they don't move the entire time. Like my grandma and all of her brothers and sisters were just over there, just spitting hate at literally everything that was happening. But would you believe that I got in trouble for going around? And I was a young boy at this point, maybe like 7 or 8, and I would pinch people's butts, and my mom was like, "You can't do that," and I was like, "But I think it's really funny," and she was like, "You can't do that."
Nick,
I can't.
I
believe
know
that.
the answer to this already,
Yeah.
but did you watch Internet Explorers last week?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Number 1 episode, 83,000 views.
I don't recommend you watch it.
You just talk shit about me.
For the
now?
record,
It wasn't us.
Okay.
shout out to everyone who sent me the Reddit thread for today. It didn't work because of blessing. In the future, I will do it. You know what I mean? Wink, wink.
So just
Nudge,
to let you know
nudge.
what happened
Sure.
is there's this thing that was going viral. This computer AI program that based on pictures will tell you what type of person they are. And
Great.
We got Joey. She's a flibberty gibbet, which means a foolish woman. I am just a common man.
Yeah.
Greg Miller's just a face.
Yeah.
Andy's a concert goer. You'll need to watch to find out what you
Oh,
are.
Christ.
I'll tell you right now, don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm not going to.
The results will shock you.
Yeah.
Click
You know that
there.
this is the kind of shit I obsess about
Oh my God.
for
Oh,
weeks.
yeah.
Cool Greg, police officer.
Yeah. That's fucked up.
Like
That is fucked
it
up.
was unbelievable how the results were. Like it's as if we planned that shit.
It's
and
just
like
because I give that
photoshopped
look
it.
to the camera, right? Is that what it is? Is it the look I give to the
It's
camera?
something like that.
Speaking of something like that, I need to remind you that our Patreon producers are Bert, Meg, Kieran O'Donnell, and we're brought to you today by Quip.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank
We
you.
finally, an hour into it, finish the intro.
Well, yeah, you know,
There you go.
we had so much
We're
fun
having a
out
great
there.
time.
You know,
I'm having a
it's-
great time.
frolicking around, man. We're frolicking.
Blessing, what do you want to know? You're here. You're doing a We Have Cool Friends, so we're not going
I
to
am.
interview for
Yes.
you because people don't like that on this podcast. You're here. You're officially kind of funny. What do you want to talk about? What's going on in your head?
I mean, you guys asked me like 30 minutes before we started, like, hey, like,
Sounds
bring
about
a
right.
topic, and I was like, oh, I don't have time. So like, I asked a bunch of people, like, okay, what should I talk about? None of them gave me good answers. And so like, I don't know, how you guys doing? I guess.
I
Doing great,
I
Blessing.
want to just quickly segue back to Japan for one thing, for one reason.
I'd say talk about it for 2 hours.
Thanks for humoring the guest.
Well, you asked him a question and he shit the bed on it. So it's coming back to me, okay? It's coming back to that was a swing and a miss. I'm blessing on that one.
Jesus Christ.
Did you guys see the video?
He's back and he's worse than ever.
Did you guys see the video I made of the toilet in Japan?
Yeah.
It's the best thing. It made me. I legitimately thought.
Where's the video?
Can
so
I
Kevin
move
can
to
show
Japan?
it.
It's on my
did
Instagram.
Not see it. Okay.
It's on my Instagram.
Does it have a really offensive hashtag to me?
Definitely.
That's probably. I stopped
100%.
looking at the content at some point. I just looked at the meeting hashtags. and then
Okay,
responded
scroll
with the
down.
mean
It's
hashtag.
right there. Right there. So let's watch this real quick. So this is in my hotel room, and you guys can see this on my Instagram. And for a lot of listeners, go ahead, press play. This is the first time I walk in, and I gotta poop, right? And I'm
Wait,
like,
that's not the shower.
And I'm like, that is just. It knows you're there, and it goes, meow. And in my brain it goes, please feed me your poop.
God.
I want your poop. But not only that, but they have the traditional. It's a traditional Japanese toilet where they've got. Kevin, play it one more time. See if you guys can see it here. As you walk in, it's plugged into a wall. Tim, it's got an electrical component to it. So you see the little controller. Oh, you can't see it. There's a little controller over to the right that has all these settings on it. First off, it sprays itself down, so it gets the bowl ready in case you're having a real dry one or like one that's sticky.
The old scatter shop.
Right? But this it just can't stick because in Japan,
And if I had
nothing
a
sticks.
nickel for every time I had a
'Cause in
thing, I'd be
Japan,
pooping a lot of
nothing
nickels.
Sticks.
So it's got like 8 settings for bidet. You know I'm a
Hell
big
yeah,
fan of the
man.
bidet. It's got the like the accurate bidet, the shower bidet, and then this is unfortunate because I discovered this maybe 2 days into 2-3 days into staying at this particular hotel.
Ball
It's got
bidet?
the dryer. So you can bidet yourself, then you hit the dryer, it goes boo. It just blows a nice lukewarm air right into the 2-hole, and it is fucking lovely. And then you leave, and about 15 seconds later, the thing closes, and then it like cleans itself. So you hear it go, and then it's ready for it to receive you again.
If you remember one of the early episodes of the
Episode
Game
2.
Over Greggy show, episode 2, which got us in a lot of trouble at IGN, where a senior VP talked to me about it, was why don't Americans wash their buttholes?
Why don't they?
And we talked about bidets. And I'll tell you what, one day I'm going to sell this fucking company and have to buy a house, and I'm going to put a bidet in that fucking bitch.
Dude, I'm
You
putting
kidding
this. If I can order it, I'm putting this fucking thing in my house if I ever get a house one day.
Yeah.
Because it is. I went and saw a comic named Mo Amer.
In
and
Japan?
No. Here, I went with Yusuf. We went a few months ago,
Why is
and
he
he had
why is
a
that
whole.
important? I understand you hang out with Yusuf. Jesus.
Because we're buddies, and he's.
I went out with him
great-looking
at
and
PAX. You don't see me talking about
Well,
it.
you know.
I mean, he's pretty cool.
He's a cool guy.
He's
Yeah.
real cool.
Looks great.
Very handsome.
Yeah.
And knows how to
invited
dress
me.
well.
Invited me and the missus, and Mo Amer basically was like, why? Like he had a whole 20 minutes on it because he's like, in other countries, people just don't understand why you would use wadded up pieces of paper to scrape things out of your butt when water would do. And it's so fucking true. You go to these other countries, you're like, we are living in the fucking dark ages of toilet technology. This shit is advanced, man, to the point where I was like, if they had a manual in English, I would have sat and read the thing to figure out. I would have Tim Gettys it, where I would have figured out exactly how the TV works, what best settings
You
are
need
for my
it, dude.
butt.
You go to artings.com.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Ratings.
I call it artings.
guys, it was
makes it feel more fun.
eye opening. It was eye opening. That and
brown eye opening.
Brown eye open. Yeah.
not only that, but they also had
Off your game. You're done.
My game.
they also had blackout curtains, which I was like, holy shit! How have I not ever been in an environment with blackout curtains? It was the best thing on the planet.
There was a public toilet I went to in Japan where you went in there and shut the door and then it started playing like the nature sounds and shit. I'm like, thank you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's
Thank
the-
I
you.
hate when
the
I come in
courtesy
here
flush.
to do my
It's silent
business,
as hell.
and it's like
Because this is gonna
I
be loud.
appreciate the glowing blue of the toilet.
Oh, it was great.
One
They
thing I
nailed
will
it.
say is that I feel like Japanese people are a lot healthier with what they eat, and we need these toilets because we're gross. Like I'm gross. I need this thing because the shit that's coming out of my ass is
'cause
not
you only
is
eat
way
curry.
dirtier
You
than
eat
what
Greg
theirs
Miller's
is.
getting nickels shined in that thing. You know what I mean?
it's true. That one like separates it. You get the nickel back.
Real talk though, one of the things I really, really respect about the Japanese culture that I had known before, but now having like
This is where we're skating that line. You never know what's next.
Oh no, this is a legit statement. So I haven't really spent a lot. Like when we went for IGN, we went like 4 hours, and we were in Shibuya, which is like the main part of Tokyo, and then we were like back to Makuhara. So I really didn't get a chance to like just sit. What I love to do when I travel is I like to actually try and like immerse myself in the culture. And one of the great things about this one was I have a friend that lives in Japan, and he actually walked us around. He has a kid. We went to one of his school. They were having a festival for a
That's
holiday they were
awesome.
having,
That's rad.
which is fucking rad. And so like instead of doing the touristy like let's go to a hedgehog cafe, he was like, why don't you come and see how my son
Why don't you come see the filler episode of this anime? at this school.
Exactly. But it was really cool, and I was really thankful for that because I actually got to experience like what a day in the life
That's
of
awesome.
a person
I would really like to do
living
that.
he was in Ibizu, which is very adjacent to Shibuya. It's all Shibuya, like Tokyo. What you would think of that? But he like picked us up at the station, and instead of being like, "Hey, we're gonna go all the tourist stuff," he walked us out into like where they live, and we got to see that, and he took us to dinner and all this stuff, which is really cool. But one of the things I really appreciate, because you know how anal retentive I am about being clean, is how fucking unbelievably clean Japan is. Like,
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, and we've talked about it before, but there's no trash cans anywhere. And if there were, could you imagine if there were no trash cans in San Francisco? The chaos that would ensue. Everywhere you go, you'd
Bad
be
enough
stepping
now.
over trash, right? No trash anywhere. And I asked my buddy, I was like, why is that? Is it like a law thing? And he goes, no, it's a cultural thing. People just take pride in things being clean and perfect. And then you look at the taxi cabs, and these are cabs that look like they're from like the late
They
80s.
literally
and
look
they
like they are from a different time.
But they look like they've been perfectly restored. And you get in and they smell good, and the guy's wearing white gloves. And I'm like, I love this culture so much, and I respect so much about it in that people actually legitimately take pride in what they're doing. Like it's kind of considered culturally taboo to be just eating on the sidewalk. So you don't see people walking around like eating or drinking a lot, unless they're me. Because I was like, I got it.
Give me that hot boss coffee right out of the machine.
Well, they're back in the day. When we went, they weren't a big iced coffee culture. Now cold brew iced coffee's everywhere. They got Dean and DeLuca's fucking everywhere, and I was like, yes, this is fantastic.
Man, I destroy a bag of flaming hot fries on the walk back from CVS. I would be so disgusting in this culture, dude.
I thought about you though because I was like, we ate at 7-Elevens, like
Which is in Japan though.
Good.
legit.
Is a like legit thing.
Like you can actually go and get decent snacks from 7-Eleven. And one of the things I thought was like, I want to get an onigiri, which is like a little rice triangle with some sort of protein in the middle, but I need something else. And I looked down and I saw it was in all Japanese, but it had a shrimp on it. And I was like, what would Andy do? Would Andy eat the shrimp chip right now?
Yeah.
Would he just try it? And I tried it, and it was fucking phenomenal. Not only that, but I got D on it. And then the last day we were there, we went to a 7-Eleven we were in Kyoto, just walking around. We saw this amazing 7-Eleven, which actually had outdoor seating.
7-Eleven is the spot.
We bought sandwiches, and I was like, there's shrimp chips, but there's a picture of a shrimp and a picture of a caramel on it.
No.
And I was like, I wonder if this is going to be good. And she was like, fuck it. What's the worst that can happen? We don't like it. We throw it out. There's a trash can right there, thankfully. We tried caramel flavored shrimp chips. Fucking unbelievably good. I was like, this should not go together. This is an odd assortment,
It sounds like an
flavors.
accident of how like they discovered that it was good.
It was really, really good. But anyway,
Like a
that's-
chocolate peanut butter car crash.
Yeah.
but and then the other thing that I just found was fascinating was just the idea, the understanding of like what you should and should not be doing at any given time without anyone. Like we saw a couple cops. They have these things called police boxes. And I asked my friend, I was like, oh, is this in case shit goes down? Like there's cops here? And he goes, no. The cops are pretty much just there to tell people where to go, like directions. People come in and like ask them directions. They're just there to like legitimately help people, like tell people where to go.
Serve, yeah.
And then the other thing that's unbelievable is like there's just this understanding of like, not all the time, but an understanding of like, hey, just like, walk on the left if you're going that way. And then if you're going this way, go on the right. And people just sort of understand that because in a densely populated area, either you understand that and it's ingrained in you or it's chaos. And it's crazy that everything works the way it should work. Public transportation is unbelievable, super clean to the point where I looked down at the subway once and I was there for 4 days. I saw a piece of trash and I was like, I should pick that up. People are seeing me see that. They've seen me see that. And they're going to think the dumb fuck American put a piece of trash on the thing. So I
want people to
picked it up and put it in my pocket.
Hey,
I was like,
look
"Good."
at me, picking it up.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Dude, Japan is the one place that everything that people have told me was true. When you hear stuff, it's like, oh my God, this place is the cleanest it's this, the trains just work and all this stuff. And I was like, I'm always let down every single time when I'm somewhere. I'm just like, no, like they're so exaggerating what that is. Japan, I'm like, I can't believe it. They fucking nailed it. Like the trains just work. It's clean as fuck. And it's like, holy crap, how? How is it real?
Not only that, but we spent 4 days in just gallivanting around Tokyo, and I feel like we barely scratched the surface of that. Like we spent time in Ginza, we spent time in Shibuya, and all these places Harajuku. And I'm like, I could go back and spend another 10 days there easily
Oh, totally.
without thinking about it.
Yeah, well, I did a week there, right, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, in a heartbeat, go back.
It's
Hang out
crazy.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's my Japan story.
For
Thank
me-
you for indulging.
For me, as somebody who's never been to Japan, going there, do you have like any recommendations of like what to do first?
Definitely Tokyo.
Okay.
So definitely, if you only have a limited amount of time, Tokyo is the place to be because there's so many different like I don't know if they're districts in Tokyo, Shibuya being one. And I'm Makuhari, but like I'm confused as to like what constitutes Tokyo because there's so many different places where when I'd go to do the geotag for all my amazing Instagrams that mostly just fuck with Greg.
I love that the
I would
last
go-
one, by the way, just like usually I saw hashtag Greg sucks. One of them was hashtag Greg hashtag sucks.
That was the one where I said better.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to throw him for a loop on that. But the general area of Tokyo is where you want to go because that comprises, I think,
All the things you know.
all of the
Pretty
things.
much. Like there's the exception of like a couple of the more iconic scenery things that you've seen, like the picture of that little like gate looking thing
With the water.
with the
overlooking
water behind it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not there. But otherwise, it's like the cross. Anything you saw in Tokyo Drift, guess what? It was in Tokyo.
Even like the drifts? Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. You see motherfuckers drifting, man.
Really?
No.
Oh,
DK.
okay.
No.
That's
You don't see-
disappointing.
You don't see a lot of
No
people. I
Romeo?
did see a lot of people, and this is the
No
other thing
Bow
that
Wow?
I'm bummed we didn't get to do. I
Lil
did see a lot of
Romeo.
people doing the go karting, and
Yeah.
we didn't end up doing it. It didn't
Yeah.
end up working out. But yeah, no, definitely just go to Tokyo and get recommendations from your friends of places to go.
Did you get any ramen?
Oh god, I ate a lot of ramen. We ate so
Yeah, I was
much.
gonna say, what's your diet like over there? You're
Uh,
usually
terrible.
pretty carb less.
We went. Well, my wife is really into food halls. Are you guys familiar with what these are?
No.
So in
It
other
sounds
countries,
like supermarket sweep.
it's basically like a big space that has a lot of different smaller stands that have different types of food.
Okay.
So like food trucks, but in a mall?
Indoor.
Yeah.
And
What is it?
more of
Reading
like-
Reading Terminal in Philadelphia, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they've got one. They've got a market up in Napa, in like
Sure,
the
sure,
in like
sure.
the downtown area of Napa that you can
Okay.
go and it's like it's
Fancy
like
mall
Oxborough.
food court.
Basically a fancy
Brighton
mall.
Market.
Yeah, where you go, it's like
Borough
bougie,
Market.
like organic ice cream, something like that. My wife loves to find these things. In Japan, whether you know this or not, every mall, if you go to the bottom floor, sometimes a higher floors at the restaurants, but the bottom floors have like endless stands. And we went to this one called Isetan, I think is how you say it, which is a big ass mall. And we go to the bottom, and it is just like we walked around for, I kid you not, like an hour just looking at all the different food stands. One of them, Mr. Cheesecake. I know what you're thinking. Does that sound awesome? Yes. Was there a line? Yes. Did I want to wait in the line? Yes. Was I not able to? Because D was like, no, we're not getting cheesecake at fucking 10 o'clock in the morning. Yes. And then when I went back, were they out of cheesecake? And the guy looked at me like, dude, you missed the fuck. Like, if people are standing in line, you got to miss the line.
No.
God damn it, they were out.
Oh yes.
I
Oh.
was so
fuck.
pissed.
But didn't see that coming.
That first day, we just got a smattering of different types of food. And the best thing that I ate was a katsu, like a fried egg that had pork wrapped around it and then the breading wrapped around it. And so when you bit into it, it was like pork, but then the egg, but then the middle was like just the egg yolk that poured out. Oh, it was the best thing. We did yakitori, we did ramen, we did soba noodles, which is like more of like a buckwheat noodle. All that stuff. I was just like, diet's out the fucking window. We're gonna eat everything. And I still never felt like bogged down. I think there's just something about the culture that's like, maybe I'm just making this shit up in the back of my mind, but it doesn't inherently add to like indulgence. It's not like, hey, you're gonna overeat right now. It's just basically like, hey, you go in there, small little table, small little space. We're gonna give you one thing. You're not seeing a bunch of people order giant things. And so I think mentally I went in going like, I'm just gonna eat a little portion here and then we'll go. Also, vending machines, a very big thing. So that's the other thing. For a place that has no trash, there's a vending machine on every fucking corner, and you get unbelievably good like coffees or waters or milk teas
Or
and
ramen.
or you can get you can get ramen, stuff like that. And now I'm addicted to milk tea, which is the thing. I don't even know if I posted that. I didn't. We went to a bubble tea is what they call it, which I assume is the same as boba.
Yeah.
Similar, whatever.
Same thing.
It's the same thing.
Got a milk tea. Got the boba, almost choked on a boba. I was like, I don't need the fucking boba
Like
anymore.
a nickel.
Exactly.
Tapioca.
The tapioca ball. Don't need that anymore. But then we noticed that the vending machines sell milk tea. And if you've never had milk tea before, oh, mod on, it's so fucking
Plastic straws, paper straws.
good. Plastic straws.
Wow.
Well, some places had paper straws, and I was like, oh, great. Now
That must be
There's
weird
a
for-
great milk tea place 2 blocks away.
Is there?
I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
say that
on
must
the
be
corner.
really weird for boba tea, where like they usually give you that giant.
Yeah.
straw
Oh, no, that
so you
one's
can suck down the
plastic.
tapioca. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
that one they can't do paper because that would just get stuck in the paper
Yeah,
straw.
they just
but-
give you like an 8. They just give you an 8.5 by 11. You just roll it up.
Make your own
chemistry
straws.
notebooks.
Get in there.
No, but yeah, I highly recommend it. Definitely go. We didn't do Akihabara because my wife's not super into like the electronic stuff, but Harajuku we went back to because she loves so much. And we went to Cat Street, I think it was what it's called, where all the really cool bougie shops are.
Oh,
Got,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Really, really like this. Awesome, amazing. And that's where my friend's office was. So we ended up hanging out with him for a bit, and I got to see how he works. And like he like works in like an area like right overlooking that street, which is really, really cool. And then we ate a lot of soft serve ice cream, like a lot of it, to the point where I was like, black sesame ice cream? Sure, let's try that. Not good, but the green tea, matcha, everything's matcha. We ate matcha, everything. It's great. And that's my Japan story.
I liked it.
I'm sticking with it.
I like
In
it.
that picture of you looking like you with the woman next to you in the kimono, is that D?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, that was.
I was like, that's interesting.
no,
choice.
that was us
No,
in Kyoto.
Not that one.
If you go down that one right there.
Yeah.
No, that's just us in Kyoto, and that was just there was a group of girls dressed like that, and not ironically, like that's actually like a traditional
Hashtag-
Yeah,
thing
totally.
that
I understand that. I just I was
Hashtag
like,
Japan, hashtag Kyoto, hashtag Kyoto Japan, hashtag travel, hashtag sweet potato, hashtag comedy, hashtag SF comedy, hashtag Greg sucks. Like it's at when you get to comedy where I'm like, wait a second, what? Why?
Yeah, when you get to SF comedy, I'm like,
It's a roller
is this-
coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
what's the
finding
ending?
pickup on SF comedy on your Japan photos?
who's to say? Really? Who's to say?
Kevin, give me the next one.
You're gonna look
Go
at the
forward,
hashtags? Yeah.
This is the future. Hashtag travel. Hashtag Kyoto. Hashtag Kyoto Japan. Hashtag Japan. Hashtag bidets.
Hashtag
rock.
Why?
Hashtag Greg. Hashtag sucks.
Yeah.
Kevin, what's the next one?
What's
Bidets
rock for?
Greg sucks.
Hashtag peace out Japan. You've been great. Hashtag travel. Hashtag Japan. Hashtag SF comedy. Hashtag comedy. Hashtag KFAF. Hashtag Greg cannot replace me. Hashtag hope he chokes on an Oreo. Hashtag not really JK.
Yeah. I just want you to know I don't really hope you choke on an Oreo.
What's
like
the
a
next
little
one?
choke, like, oh God, I might die. But
Snacks.
like the nickel
Hashtag
situation.
Japan. Hashtag travel. Hashtag Kit Kat. Hashtag they make so many good ones. Hashtag I'm gonna eat them all. Hashtag plain snacks. Hashtag snacks. Hashtag Greg stop creeping in my hashtags.
I'm like, I got you. Yeah. To which you replied, I'm fucking not, right?
I don't remember.
You
what I
replied
replied
on
that one.
this.
That's what you. It's one you don't use Instagram ever.
Yeah.
So then it was just like it was at some point it became too hard to keep up with them. Because Kevin, pull back to the wide page here, or just Nick's page.
Well,
in
that
general.
was a nice one
Look
that I
at
said
it.
at the end there.
Look at this narcissistic motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love the angle of like, yes, I'm in Japan, but this is about me.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. It's
Yeah.
great.
God, this fucking dog. This was in Harajuku. You see this little fucker with his pants? She put like so the owner put him on, put the towel down, put him on top, and just went in for like a solid 15 minutes to get coffee at this place, like a pour over place. So it took forever to the point where they ask you to smell the beans, they're like which bean do you want, and then they go grind it and make it thing. Dog sitting out by itself, never moved, and endless supply of people started taking pictures of it.
Denim jeans.
It's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
I love it.
I
Yeah.
don't think the dog needs to wear jeans. But I
Well, it
do
doesn't
think
need to wear a hat.
you need to hear from our sponsor. I need to wear the hat.
That's a good
if it
segue.
wants to wear
I
the
just
hat.
want to send Cool Greg to Japan
Oh.
by himself.
No way.
And
You'll
here's
never
the-
get him back.
Now here's the thing.
Let's
Here's the thing.
let me and Cool
It's
Greg
like
vlog it.
I don't feel like there's many places that he'd be okay. Japan's one that I think he'd figure it out.
Oh no, I think
In
he'll
the
figure it out no
weirdest
matter what.
way.
I think it's more that like he'll just disappear. We're like your brother's dead. We'll turn on New Japan Pro Wrestling in 6 months, and there he is,
Commissioner of the league.
spitting green mist into people's faces. We're like, what the fuck happened over there?
Well, that is one of the things that you realize when you go. You're like, why don't we have that level of public transportation?
Oh, totally.
Like, it's
space.
so fucking
It's
easy to get
space.
around there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's not enough space.
Yeah, it's just space planning, all that stuff, money. Like they did
I
it
thought you
right.
meant it was
You thought he
space.
meant outer space.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about space travel. I was like, yeah,
that's
why
so
don't we?
futuristic where it's there in space.
No,
Blessing
no,
to get
not
back
that.
to it. I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, thank you.
You're doing
Can
all right.
I redeem myself?
Sure.
I think I
mean,
thought of one.
it's up to Nick now to do it.
I think I thought of one.
Hold on, can we just like pretend it's bad even if it's good? And just be like, "Ah, it's like,
Yes, Andy.
Oh, shit.
Yes, we can.
I want to talk about the come up because like I feel like currently with what I'm doing with my outlet, I feel like I am currently still like I'm in the stages of coming up, if that makes sense. Like I'm still in the grinding stage. We're
By
still
definition, you're an up and comer. So
like an up
yes.
and comer.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
as Pink said, I'm coming up. So you better get this part.
yeah, she did say that.
So I want to talk about your guys' come up and like
Sure.
essentially what that process was like for
I
each of
still
you.
think we're very much on it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I-
no,
there's
that
not a-
doesn't stop.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't think we could be better. We could be bigger. Like I still feel like we're grinding, or we're not where we we could be yet.
Where do you want to be?
King of the world.
Mm.
Yeah, just to the point where I'm like that. Put Greg
Did
Miller in
you watch
chains. Put him in the
Succession yet?
fucking. Oh, it's so good. I just started
Wait,
watching
what
it.
now?
Secession,
No.
the
HBO
HBO show.
I've not
There's
heard
a
it.
scene in it where what is it? Kieran Culkin like jacks off on the glass. That's what Nick wants. You know what I mean? Like that's what he's looking for.
I never want to be Kieran Culkin.
But you are, so it's too bad.
I started watching Succession. He's the one character that I can barely stand in that show.
Yeah.
I actually don't really. It's weird.
such a cartoon.
I like the show. I hate all the characters, and I don't really like the actors that much. The only person that I actually think is fascinating is Brian Cox. Everyone else, I'm just like,
Oh, no.
who the fuck cast these people, and why
Really?
who writes these things?
How far deep are you?
I'm like caught up.
Oh shit, fuck. I love Shiv. I love their journeys. I like that. I literally just like everybody, so I can't.
I think it's been so disjointed for me because I've watched episodes out of order.
Oh, wow,
that
that's weird. Yeah.
it's weirdly like it's like a more serious.
Kendall's whole storyline from season 1 and like the opening scene to where he is now, like holy shit. And I think the way he
But I
acts
just don't.
season 2.
I just don't like
But-
the actor though.
That's
but it's
fine.
like-
You're a racist.
It's like it's true. We've talked about
got
that
you.
before.
Kendall's a white guy.
Yeah. But you're a minority, so like you can turn it around on us. You know what I mean? It's
Deep
like
waters.
in Superman 2
We're
where
getting
we're
into
like, yeah,
getting into deep waters.
the lights run out here, and you remember Superman 2 in the chamber?
didn't
That's
Well,
it.
he
No,
wasn't
can't
there.
say
They
that.
had to
Done
have
wrong.
Gene Hackman explain what happened because it was so convoluted and not in canon that they're like, someone's got to explain what the fuck just happened. Because A, what the hell is this machine? And B, what the fuck? How did he just with 2 crystals? Doesn't matter. I don't like the way the show's shot, and I don't like.
All
the
right,
weird,
enough of the show anyway.
weird humor
Let's
in
get
it.
back to our
It's like
comeuppance.
Arrested
No,
Development, but
we're
serious.
very much. I think we're all still very much. It's people. We talk about it all the time. Gary talked about it recently on a Games Daily. I think with imposter syndrome. Oh no, it was his Paxton panel, his keynote. That I think he's like every creative suffers with imposter syndrome, and I think we more than anybody. It's always fun, like today of like, how are we doing? We're doing really well today. Like last week was a very rewarding week, but a very challenging week with everything exploding and dying and everything else going to hell, right? But getting the Borderlands shot and it being awesome and getting the regular content out and being awesome. This week, like, it's currently Monday as we record this, right? Like 3 o'clock. The fact that we've already had you in for Up and Comer and you killed it on Games Daily, which was followed by Cool Greg interviewing one-on-one Sasha Banks, WWE superstar, which was followed by Jack Buser, head of games at Google Stadia, coming in for a We Have Cool Friends and being fascinating and interesting, like both with booking and talking to WWE and them treating us like a real thing. And you're hosting tomorrow with WWE superstar Xavier Woods, hashtag the Crooked Commish. Like the fact that they treat us that way every time is like, oh my God, we fucking pulled one over on these people. The fact that like Google Stadia is here with their PR people, like, oh my God, what a bunch of idiots. We tricked them.
I was worried as hell when Sasha Banks walks in, and it's she's a superstar, right? And she walks in, and I'm just like, it's gonna be so fucking hot in this building. She's gonna be like, ugh, this is gross.
There's hell of people here today.
Yeah, there's like it's packed. I can't walk anywhere. And then also, it was mostly the heat that I was worried about. And it's fine here now. I think the fan is fine. But this morning it felt a lot warmer in the room, and I was like, she's gonna be like, man, these people don't have air conditioning. Are you kidding me? I was very like self-conscious about what these much more important people were gonna think about us when they walked in, and Cool Greg killed it.
It's crazy. It's crazy that you mentioned imposter syndrome because that's been a thing that like I feel like for me has been a huge thing I've been dealing with, especially like for the last year between like the PAX panel you mentioned, where like we packed out that room, but for me like being on stage, I was like, oh, we tricked everybody. This up and coming opportunity feels strange for me because like I don't know, and I mean this would be a question for you guys, like at what point do you stop feeling like an imposter and start feeling like
You don't.
You don't.
I mean, dude, literally, We Have Cool Friends has been such an interesting thing for me because, it is an idea based around Greg Miller's abilities and being the most amazing interviewer that I've ever met. Where it's like we've joked forever, you could interview a fucking rock and it'd be an interesting podcast. We should do that one day. But not
The
The
Rock.
Rock, A Rock, but
The Rock.
Yeah.
A-Rock Adrian.
But you're so good at getting something from people where it's not just the what do you do, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
It's like somehow you always get an amazing hour, 2 hours out of somebody, depending on how much alcohol's involved, 3 hours out of somebody.
Thanks, Brian.
But it's just like I know that I can do it because I can just emulate you. It's like I've watched you for years do everything that you've done. Like I tried. I can host a show with my eyes closed now because I just follow the cadence that you do with my own spin on it,
Sure.
the Tim Gettys hype and all that bullshit. But interviewing people that matter, interviewing people that I care about or like I'm interested in or whatever, I still have so much nerves about that, and like feel that I'm not good at it. And you can't just emulate that. Like I can't just look at what you do and do that because it's not one for one. It's just some weird natural thing. And when we've had like even Will Friedle coming in, it's just like I didn't want to do that by myself. It was me and you with him, and I feel like I needed that crutch. You know what I mean? And it's like there's certain people I'm more comfortable with or whatever, but it's like I'm not ready to just jump in, dive in, and nail it. And it's like I'm how many years into this career now? You know what I mean? It's still this imposter syndrome. And then to see my brother fucking do it, I mean, cool, Greg, real talk, you did better than I've ever done with an interview today. Like that was insane. But like there was this natural kind of, it felt like he knew everything to ask to get somewhere organically, right?
Yeah,
it's just like the imposter syndrome doesn't stop. And it's like I'm sure a lot of people would be like, oh, like they'd look at everyone at this table and be like, oh, they're used to this, they can do this. Like I'm sure there are people even looking at you because of OK Beast that are like, oh, he's a podcaster. Like he knows how to do this shit.
Yeah, and it's always strange, like, you know, looking at like people who've been following me on Twitter for like the last week because they're hearing I'm gonna be on KF, right? And I looked yesterday, I saw like, oh, Lucy James followed me. I was like, dude, Lucy James and or like Jake Decker from GameSpot, like people that I listen to or I look up to, and it feels so weird because I don't necessarily feel like I'm part of the industry. I don't necessarily feel like I don't know. I like, you guys at least, come from IGN. Like you guys are coming from an industry, starting your own thing. And so you guys are almost like part of that like circle or part of that like network in a way that, I feel like I'm coming from nowhere doing my own thing.
See, my argument there though is you're coming from the Kind of Funny community, which at this point is synonymous with kind of funny in the industry. It's like everybody in the industry that gives a shit about us understands that we're only a thing because our community is so good. So it's like for people to be like, oh yeah, like this like community guys from Kind of Funny, they run podcasts and stuff. That means something to developers. You know what I mean? People are excited about OK Beast being a thing because they understand what that means, especially if we're given the cosign.
Well, I mean, and you talk about what Lucy and Jacob following you or whatever. It is that thing of like, right, we're doing GameSpot After Dark this week, and like when I saw when the calendar invite that I made changed from Greg on it to Greg and Blessing on it, I just looked at Joey. I'm like, did I black out when I wrote this? She's like, no, they hit me up afterwards. They wanted him too. I'm like, all right, great, cool.
Yeah, that one was strange because I met Jake at PAX right after the tournament, and I think it was Michael Hyam that introduced us. And I was like, oh, Jake, I'm a fan of the podcast. And he immediately was like, oh, do you want to come down and be on? And I was just like, oh, he doesn't know that like I'm not like, IGN or whatever, right? Yeah. And I know that's definitely like a hill for me to just like get over, right? And I kind of got to accept.
I think you're looking at it the wrong way.
The Rock wasn't always rock bottoming people at birth, He had to start somewhere.
I've heard it both ways.
I think you're looking at it the wrong way, in that I think you're looking at the notion of having imposter syndrome as being a bad thing. I look at it as being a tremendously humbling and good thing, in that the people that I've met who don't have it, who just think they're entitled and think they need to be like they're right where they need to be and all that stuff, they're not the ones that generate the best content, in my opinion. I think the people who are like one of the proud moments that I have here is when we do get big guests in, the excitement that we get of like, oh my God, this is a thing that mostly Greg and Tim have accomplished. Not me, because they don't let me invite people here anymore. Once Makuga came in, they were like, you're done. You're done. You can't.
But you knocked it out of the park with that one, though.
That was fun. Well, that's Makuga's another one of those people you can talk to for 4 hours. You're just going to say, we just talk to him about Bad Boys for like 50 minutes.
It's one of those things with Makuga, though. Some of it's got to be fake, right? Because he's one of those Jared Petty's. He's got a story about everything.
He has a story about
you see the one the other day. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, I was friends with Bowie. We watched soccer. I came over to his house all the time. I met the Beatles. I'm like, all right. And then he's like, oh, I was a bartender in New Jersey, and this woman it was Taylor Swift. And yeah, I'm like, all right. Like, you're making some of this up, Josh, and I'll figure it out.
He's lived a beautiful life.
I'll trace it back. And then he put up this Instagram photo yesterday of him jumping rope outside of the tailgate, and I was like, don't like it.
He's great at everything.
Why?
He's everything I'm not.
Why is a photo?
Kevin, can you bring up his Instagram? Josh McCougas.
No, but to circle back around to that point, I think it's a good thing. And I think that it's because if you feel like that tells me, A, you're out of your comfort zone, which is great. And that's how you progress as just an artist or a creator. And B, yeah, you shouldn't ever think that you belong someplace. Like, you should never get that comfortable, because that means you're complacent. This is amazing.
Throw it up here. I don't like this because it's too wholesome. Josh McCouga here jumping rope with a daughter and
That is a
her
perfect-
father. The best part of yesterday was jumping rope in the parking lot and seeing this little girl get so excited that someone finally jumped in. Just trying to spread a little positivity and have some fun.
That's a perfect post.
Fuck
Yeah.
off, Josh. God, you're too perfect.
But like,
God, you're too perfect.
There's no way that worked out, right? Like, look at the size difference
She ain't
between
getting
the
that
dad.
over
No,
his head.
he's getting clotheslined
It's
the
way too
very
stretched
first
out.
one. No, God, yeah, you gotta get closer.
Who took that picture?
Probably
Like, that's
his
a
wife.
his wife.
professional.
Yeah, his wife.
Yeah, his wife Amanda is awesome.
Oh wait, hold on. On the photo, there's like a marking on the concrete, but I thought it was a
Watermark?
a watermark.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, like the,
Oh, yeah, down there. Yeah.
Amanda McCouga photography.
That's what I thought.
Hilarious.
But no, yeah, it doesn't go in. I agree with Nick too. I think that's, the I don't know, weird thing to say, but like the amount of times people are like, "Oh man, like you're so down to earth." To me, I'm like, "What the fuck do you think? What do you think I do?" You know what I mean? I'm just a human being.
But also, people
think
don't
on the
necess-
internet.
People don't get to see Greg in the back hallway, fucking nerding out when all the Supermen from his past like come to hang out with him, right? Like they see him on stage as the professional, like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this interview. It's gonna be super fun. I've programmed this panel." They don't see the hours he puts in of like research. They don't see him like the excitement in his eyes when he sees Tom Welling coming down the hallway and he gets to hang out with him for the first time. Like,
Welcome to Crisis on Infinite Earth. You know what I mean?
there you go.
Yeah.
And that's
Like Nick with Henry Winkler.
Yeah.
oh god, which is what made the fucking knife in my back all the much more painful.
He was so good in Barry.
But dude, he was good in Barry actually.
Yeah.
Now I've just gone back to watch that. Also, Ballers, the new season is fantastic.
Is
It's
it final
fun.
season?
Dude, it's really good.
I
I said at 2:00 in the morning when I was like, well, I'm just up. I'll start watching Ballers.
Why did you start playing Borderlands?
No, I just gotta say. Well, you took my code away.
No, I already sent you a new one.
Did
Remember?
you? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I think having imposter syndrome, obviously it can feel kind of like crippling at moments, but I do think it does help out with Nick is mentioning where our friend Lannon Laserbeam, the biggest YouTuber in Australia, not just gaming YouTuber, just the biggest YouTuber period in Australia now, and we've known him since he was hitting 20,000, 30,000 views with Madden back in the day, and now he has so much care into the work that he puts out and posts on YouTube, where like everything that he does, it's him. He's always talked about like, I can't have editors because I'm just so worried about like not having my I guess my vibe
Personal
in this
stamp
video.
on
Yeah,
it.
this is
Sure,
my
yeah.
stamp or whatever. And recently he posted something up where he was like, "Oh, YouTube nerfed me" or something. I forgot what the fuck happened. But like where his most recent view only had 2.9 million views, and the prior two had like 5.7 million views, and I was like, give me 5% of the 2 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I do think it can feel frustrating where I feel like we put out really quality stuff, and when it doesn't get the views, it does like, damn it, like I want to try even harder, and I want to like put out something even better in hopes that something does hit. But I do think if you have that imposter syndrome, you're constantly like trying to one up yourself and like, oh, the last one like got a lot of views, but the next one's gonna be even better because I'm gonna work harder at it. Yeah. Like, and it's a weird thing.
And to answer that original question too, like where do you want all this to go? I don't know that any of us have like a specific vision for what we want to do with Kind of Funny, but we've talked a lot, and having the ability to create on a larger level, I think has always been the goal for us. Like, we talk about as we brought new people in, or as we bring in new technology, or as even technology breaks and we upgrade that, like every single one of those gives us the opportunity to make the content that much better. And that's what excites me, is like, when I get to do something like KFAF with Andy, right? And that's something we've grown to be able to do. That's really, really cool. I just want to see what the next iteration of that is. When we do Harry Potter in review, and it really resonates with the audience because it's something that I'm personally just super passionate about, that is so fulfilling that it gets me, like, part of the reason I came in today, or like Mustard coming in because I did not feel great coming off of jet lag and all that stuff, is because I wanted to be ready for tomorrow. Like, I wanted to, I was looking forward to doing this podcast with you guys and you specifically, but then B, I want to be acclimated so that I can knock it out of the park for the final episode of In Review tomorrow.
Episode, man.
It's the final fucking episode, and you better fucking believe I rewound that last moment of Harry Potter 7 Part 2 and cried my eyes out when I saw the horrible makeup they were in. But I was like, rewind. And I'm like, I literally spent like a solid 5 minutes extra more than I needed to rewriting my last line of that, because I'm like, this is important to me. And I know there's going to be some fucking nerd out there that's just like me, who this is important to also. Who wants to relive this through our eyes.
Should I say what your final line is?
Have you read it?
No.
Go for it.
Mischief managed.
No, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
That's really
That is
good.
good.
You don't
That's
understand
real
things,
good.
yeah.
Didn't really have a lot of relevance though in this one, though. Sadly.
Fucking Snake Man's dead.
Jesus.
Okay.
Spoilers, dude. Yeah, I love it because I feel like my vision for kind of funny and everything is like kind of just to find more people that are doing dope shit. And I feel like that's become easier and easier over the years where it's like we have you here, we had Chloe here. Like last week, Roger Picorni, who we've been working with lightly on the editing side over the last couple of years now. Like he helped with the Kind of Funny Game showcase and a lot of things. He's really stepped up and done things when we really needed it. Edited Oration and
Borderland Show.
Nicknames. But now Borderland Show, he's editing that and it's like episode 1's out and it's fantastic. Like Nick scrubbed through and was like, shit, like, this is
Yeah, it's really cool.
really good compared
But
to our normal
it's also
stuff.
cool to see that problem be solved with someone that is homegrown and came from the community,
100%.
and someone who gets it and wants to do keep honing that person's craft. Right, like Roger's really good at editing, and you can see him getting better with every project that he does, and it's cool to see, and it's cool to be able to help to some degree facilitate that. Right, someone who really enjoys what they're doing, and we're able to have that nice play back and forth with giving him edits and seeing him knock it out of the park. And you see the fun he's having. Maybe not with the Borderlands show because that sounded like really stressful. But like Oration, for instance.
But that's the thing is like, it was super stressful and a giant like, oh my God, we got to do all this different stuff that came together in tech and all this other stuff. But Roger reveled in it. You know what I mean? That's what I was talking about when Tim asked me the next morning. I'm like, he's great. He's awesome. He's hungry. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where
I
it's
love
like
it.
not many editors would be going back and forth with 2K while I slept because there was nothing I could do. And it was literally from I included them together at like 5:30 at night, and they went back emailing about fixes and this, that, and the other until 2:30 in the morning. Roger, this is Pacific time. Roger is Eastern time.
So, yeah.
Then you see like a 3-hour gap, 4-hour gap maybe, where I assume Roger passes out while this render happens. Then the emails start again, where it's just like, and like every time he was like, "This is awesome, and I'm loving doing this," and blah blah blah. But it was like,
And on top of that, I want to say this because I'm sure there's going to be people thinking the negatives of that. It's like crunch and all that stuff is real in the industry that we have. That's all real. And this is a situation of like editors having to do things at weird times and all this. We're lucky that Kind of Funny is in a position because of you guys that we can then offer Roger what he's worth for this instance where we're like, yo, we're going to pay you 2-3 times what we would have paid you normally for an
and
episode.
also the fact that
because-
me and Roger are like, now that we know that, right, working with 2K about it, of like, so this show is different than what we thought it was going to be. What's the real pipeline? What's the real timeline? So he never has to do that again. This literally, he got hired because this is an emergency situation. What are you doing? I remember asking him, what are you doing this afternoon, this evening, and tomorrow morning? Which turned into the exact same thing in the next 48 hours rather than 24.
But but honestly, like, and that's something that I really respect about people is that obviously as a person who is hiring talent, that shouldn't be the expectation.
100%.
Right? That should be the, but there is something to be said about production. And sometimes production goes awry and you have to put in some extra hours and you have to creatively problem solve. And I remember doing that when I was in my early 20s because I would pick up freelance projects to make a little extra cash. And they would, like maybe 4 out of 5 times all turn into that, where it was like best laid plans. This is going to be super easy. And then it's 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm sleeping under my desk at IGN because I'm using their computer because it's more powerful than the one I had at home. And that's just, everyone has those experiences, but you do it because A, you want to learn, and B, you want to come through for the client. And that's a very, very important special thing that not a lot of people who think they want to do production really have that ability. Because there's a lot of people who go, I want to be in production, but when the shit hits the fan, they go, maybe that's proof positive that either you want to be in this game or you don't. You're not really, made for this. And Roger's definitely made for it. In that, again, I want to set the expectation. This is not the expectation, and this is not what we normally do here, and that's on purpose.
Again, it was an emergency.
Like most of the time, I would say, with 80% of the time, people are able to come in and leave at a normal time, with maybe the exception of Cool Greg, but he does not keep regular hours anyway. Because there have been multiple times I've come back to the office, forgot stuff, and he's like, I catch him like
watching Rugrats.
He's like watching Rugrats on a Switch, smoking a cigarette with like one of his friends, like what's his name, Ruben. And they're like, "What's up?" And then I feel like I'm invading their party. I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys, I just forgot something." And Cool Greg says it's cool. He's like, "It's cool,"
Nah,
but it's not cool.
Yeah,
It's not cool. But yeah, as a person who is personally driven myself to do stuff like that, to put those late hours in, and all of us have. Like when we used to do Up and Noon, things like that. We used to do IGN Weekly. Tim, used to do videos at IGN. We've all stayed late. When we formed this, we were like, that's got to be the exception to the rule, not the rule. And I'm happy to say that for the most part, we don't go that hard all the time. But every once in a while, you got to do it, and that's just what happens. That's production life, and if you don't want to do that, then don't do production life.
This is
That's what I would say.
semi-related. One of my former teachers that I went to Art Institute with, he's the guy that like got me my first job in the industry, and he was a very, very accomplished 3D artist. He's worked for a bunch of different studios. He recently quit the Art Institute to go work at UT, and he put out this
University of Texas.
Yeah, University
Longhorns.
of Texas. Yeah, he put out this sort of like Facebook post that was like, you know, it was my last time teaching. I've been there since 2011 or whatever, and he was like, I leveraged a very laissez-faire.
Laissez-faire.
I leveraged a very laissez-faire strategy. Here's the material. The people in this room are your competition. The world doesn't care about you, and the bill collectors already have you on speed dial. Go. He's like, it didn't work for everybody. Arguably, it didn't work for most people, but I'm not sure anything would have. Most people don't have the peculiar mix of skills, drive, and creativity required to build a professional game art portfolio. And I think that works for a lot of people trying to get into this industry where, like, sure, you might have the talent, but do you have the drive? You have the drive. Do you have the talent, though? You have both of those? Are you easy to work with? And I feel like all those things, you need kind of a mix of everything to work, you know?
And I'll tell you what, people who are going to employ you, future employers, look for that. They look for the person that when it's 2:00 in the morning, will they answer that email? And I've worked with people in the past that I just don't hire anymore because when push came to shove, they were just like, I'm really tired. And I'm like, I don't want to hear I'm really tired because there's a client on the other end that's not tired because they're well slept and they want their project. And I'm managing this project. And if you're not going to come through for me on this one,
I'll find somebody who will.
I by definition have to find someone who will. And again, that's something that I don't like revel in. I never liked the opportunity. Like when I worked with other motion graphic artists, when I used to do freelance projects, or when I'd be like the producer on something, I don't like telling someone they have to stay up for 24 hours straight to get a render done or to get this thing done. I don't like that. But occasionally shit happens.
People you can lean on,
and you have to have those people that'll go to war with you, right? You have to have. We used to say ride or die. Like you have to have ride or die motherfuckers who will be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do this. And because I was that person for people, and I saw how that positively affected the project. If you're able to, like, if you think you're going to get into production thinking it's all going to be rainbows and sunshine and cherries all the time and everyone's going to get along, wait until your soundboard breaks, right? And then you go, fuck. And then Kevin has to creatively problem solve, which he did very, very well. And kudos to Kevin for thinking on his feet and getting out there and trying to figure out what all his options are. But that's production. Production's not like everything's happy-go-lucky. Production's like, everything's good for now. What the fuck's gonna happen? What the fuck's gonna happen tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Like there's not a day, and Kevin knows it because he's been to war now. He has that look in his eye where he's like, at the end of every day, he's like, cool. But he never 100% goes to sleep. You know what I mean? He's always like monitoring because he's like, something's gonna fucking happen, and he's the one that has to catch that, right? And that's there's a special kind of person that likes that. You know?
And that's the reason I think we're able to be successful. Is that we all see that in each other, that I know we can reach out, we can all lean on each other for different things. And it's why we have people on the Rolodex that are a Roger, that are a Snowbike Mike, that in different scenarios you're able to call up and be like, we need this right now. And you know that they'll be there because they understand the opportunity, they understand what we're building. And so to your question of like, you know, imposter syndrome and where we're going and all these different questions, like in the same way that the up-and-comer opportunity exists, right? Because last year I discovered we had a platform. Which is a foolish thing, I guess, to say to a lot of people, but not something I ever thought about. That Games Daily was a platform to give up-and-comers a place, right? We bring you guys on. This year is the same way of really wrestling with the fact that, holy shit, like, the industry itself actually looks at us in a real way. I think of us as a bunch of guys in a retrofitted apartment doing, you know, goofy content, right? Which is great and awesome. But to have frank conversations with Andrea as she's leaving about what we do and how much it means to her, and you'll see it in Cool Friends. When Bungie was through with Luke Smith, right, and going to lunch with them and them talking to us about what we do, it's like, oh fuck, and like Jack from Google being here and talking to us
stoked
back,
and impressed.
Exactly. It's like that. We know we're on the precipice right now of, like we talked about at the beginning of the year, right, with the up and coming opportunity, all these different things. We're on the precipice of like, we got to start looking at a new studio. We got to figure that out. We got to worry about the next things are. And I know that like, oftentimes in our own community, growth is thrown around in a bad way. You know what I mean? People miss the spare bedroom. They miss all these different things. What? I know you know. Yeah, Kevin. I understand what they're trying to say, but I also think that they look at growth the wrong way. When Rooster Teeth went through that round of layoffs, there was a subreddit thread that was like, this is why I hope Kind of Funny always stays small and never changes. And there was somebody who was like, but they're not. They always talk about growth. They're going to become this. And it's not that we're going to go from 8 people to 800 people. It's the idea that
we're not going to create a worldwide phenomenon anime. Like,
I mean, we might if you ever get off your ass. You know what I mean? I don't know what you need.
Jesus, Andy,
you
what do you-
love
what do you do in your
Gundams? Go
spare
do
time?
it. You know what I mean?
That sounds like a you job.
Yeah, exactly.
figure it out.
But it's this idea, right? That like the next step is more space so that we can bring in you. We can bring in Snowbike Mike. We can bring in Roger when he's ready. We can bring in Jen, the editor that I like out in New York. We can bring in all these different people to come in and make the right content. Because again, if we never left the spare bedroom, guess what? We would all be probably working back at IGN. Like this wouldn't have worked. Like it's the idea that I always talk about all the time of like the time I broke down and cried at the table when I couldn't make things work and Kevin took it all on his shoulders. And like when the soundboard's dying and then the other thing died, the computer died, like all that shit, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing. This is a brand new story, everybody. When Tim asked me last week, how am I doing? And I said, I don't know how to answer that question. And I shut the door and I cried in front of him.
Burst into tears.
Because I was like,
I was like, I haven't seen this Greg Miller in years.
Right. And it's just because like this is spiraling out of control. And like you and Nick are usually the producers on the project and I get to be the talent idea man. And now they've put it all on me and I'm like, I don't know what to do because I thought Cool Greg could edit this. He can't. I think I can edit this. I can't. We need and you're like, Roger, go to Roger. It's an emergency. Go to Roger. And Roger does such a great job and has such a great vision for the thing that we're like, guess what, Roger? You for the rest of this contract, you're editing the Borderlands show. You know what I mean? And obviously we offered him. It wasn't like a thing. But that's the idea, right? Is like, it's never to go from 8 to 800. It's to go to the right 9, to the right 10, to the right 11. Because I want to bring in the people who have voices that will speak to a younger audience, that will speak to a different audience, right? Of like the things we can't talk about. You know what I mean? God, I don't know why, but as soon as Nick gets glasses, we will all look exactly the same pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like, it's like,
I want them.
No, don't do it. You
I
can't
want
do
them
it.
so bad. I look so cool in glasses.
Like I want it
Count
to
down
be
the
that
days
like
to get rid of 'em.
you know, people are always like when we were doing PS I Love You, right? Like, oh, I love it there was an Xbox show. And I was like, I would love that too, but we need to hire people who are passionate about Xbox. You know what I mean? And like that's the different things and where it's gonna go, how it's gonna grow and all this. I don't want to grow for growth's sake. I want to grow for longevity's sake. I want to grow so that there's something here that when we do hire the next person, they can work here 10 years.
And that's a huge like thing for me as well. And I think that's the same with Tim and same with everyone here is like we want to grow into our strengths and into the things we're passionate about. There's so many times at IGN where you'd hear an executive start talking about a new initiative and you're like, nobody cares about this. This is literally just to make money. And really even behind that, it's just to make sure that this executive gets his or her bonus at the end of the day. And that's the kind of shit that I never want to be a part of ever again. What I want to be a part of is making a creative space where people can come in and do awesome stuff that they love to do. And I want like best case scenario for us is that people actually want to stay late to do stuff. Right. And we have to say, stop staying late, like go home, have a life, come back tomorrow and do this. If we can, and we've somehow managed, I think that, but if we can somehow facilitate that on a bigger level, that would be like, I would consider myself a success and no longer an imposter if that were the case.
I saw a post in the Facebook group today talking about Cool Greg's Sasha interview. It's just like, it's kind of funny just attempting to do the year of dreams for employees. It kind of funny. I'm just like, trying to like, and they're like the same week that Cool Greg interviews Sasha, they have Blessing come in and do all this stuff. And it's just like, honestly, that is kind of the goal. You know what I
100%.
mean? It's like, do you know how dope it was to have Andy play guitar at Kind of Funny Live 3? Like, not saying that's your dream, but it's like, that's fucking cool to like give you this amazing outlet to like do your thing. You know what I mean? And be appreciated for the things that you're skilled at and talented at. Like, I love what we've been able to build. And that goes for all of us. Seeing Kevin do screencast and like have the chance to get better week after week. And
I mean, like
for something he gives a shit about.
And
man.
I know, and when we started this, right, like, it was me and Colin, right, already faces, already established all these different things, bringing you and, I say you, but Nick and Tim up, right, and watching you guys grow, let alone to get to this fact now, yes, that Cool Greg's interviewing Sasha and he's fucking crushing it. The fact that, like, I looked at a calendar, I'm like, where? You're going to see this movie. I've never heard of this movie. And they're like, oh, we got invited to go to a screener. I'm like, oh, like one of those, what is it? Not Phobo. GoFobo, is that what it is? Like things I get all the time. Like, I'm not waiting in some fucking line with 600 people to try. They're like, no, like a press screener.
Screener.
How the fuck they figure this out? And like, oh, they hit up Kevin. I'm like,
from Screencast,
no,
being a host of Screencast.
And like, even, and I know it sounds stupid, but even Tim, where he's like, hey, did you get a code for Astral Chain for Zelda? I'm getting a Switch. And I'm like, I love that I had to work so hard to get you on Nintendo's press list, and now I get jack shit from Nintendo.
I love it. I appreciate it because I get it all.
But like, that's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the interviews are cool, Game Awards are cool, but it's like that's the shit that fucking matters. Is that everybody has a voice here and is established. And able to
Nick
do
has
cool
a
things.
freaking documentary made about him.
Yeah, that
That's
was
stupid.
That was just a waste of
And
money
it's
for
amazing.
Rooster Teeth.
But it's amazing. Like that's the other thing too. It's like that's quality shit. It's like
actually good.
all of this stuff happens.
It's actually good.
It is. It's actually
To the
good.
point where like it hit me the other week when I was doing that thing I do where I just Google myself a lot.
Sure.
And waiting for the punchline came up, and I saw that it had a rating on, like, people had rated it on IMDb, and I was like, whoa, that's weird. It was like an 8.7 out of 10, and I and I was like, huh. Now, I think only like 3 people had rated it, but shout out to all of you people out there that
gave
did
it a
it.
7.
You motherfucker.
But I feel like
give it an 8.
everything we do works in synergy so much where we have the ability to do these really cool things that might only mean a lot. Like Cool Greg interviewing Sasha might only mean as much as it does to the people at this table being proud of him and the 20,000 max people they're gonna watch the video that know the history of Cool Greg and Sasha. But it's like it means the world to those people.
Right.
It's like it means so much more than 3 million views would mean on just a random video. That
Well, that's
other
something, Andy
people
was
put
talking
up.
about views earlier, and don't get me wrong, views are important. I wish we did
Yeah,
more, and
totally.
blah, blah, blah. But it's the fact that a long time ago, I gave up on ever looking at our views because I just don't give a shit. Are you supporting us on Patreon? Are you coming to meet and greets? Are you going to Kind of Funny Lives when they happen? Like, yeah, the people cheering Cool Greg, like when he, like going fucking crazy at Kind of Funny Live 3 when he gets introduced as a employee, which I've gone back and watched multiple times. Like, that's the shit. Yeah. That's the good shit. You know what I mean? As long as we're able to keep the lights on, everybody paid, like, awesome.
But
there's a part of me that, like, I hate that we're not growing as fast as I think we should be.
Oh, sure.
But on the other side of it, there is the other side where, people will come into
Nothing
our
matters.
comments.
There's no consequences.
But there is a side of it where, people will come into the comments, and you can tell it's people that hate us and only want to come in to talk shit.
Yeah.
And I've seen people come in and be like, God, this channel's been stuck at this many subs forever. These guys are not growing. And there's a part of me that thinks that, like, but who cares? Like our content is still fucking good. Like, I personally think that our content is really, really good.
It's the best.
And like, it doesn't matter that we're not, like, to me, that's just like when a really, really awesome movie doesn't make a lot of money. It's like, well, the movie's still fucking good.
Yeah.
Just because a lot of people didn't go see it doesn't mean that it make it any less so.
But
you know?
and it's also the thing of, and I know it's all optics, but in the, your e-penis and all these different things are like, well, like YouTube subs are just
Your
such
what?
one e-penis.
Oh, e-penis.
It's like trophies or anything else,
Yeah.
right? Where it's just one metric, right? But like in reality, of course, if we're still hiring people,
I thought you meant like the subscriber number was a big swinging cock.
Stuff. No, if we're doing all these different things, right? Like clearly it's working. Clearly the podcasts are there.
and
Clearly
so
the ads are there.
The point I was trying to get to with the talking about the synergy and everything, it's like I see a lot of comments of just like they always talk about how their audio numbers are bigger than their video, and I miss the old days of just the spare bedroom. Like, why do they need the video wall? Why do they need all this stuff? It's like the fact of the matter is, us having this is the wow factor when celebrities come in, when normal guests come in, when developers, publishers, they come in and go, oh, wow, you guys are doing something really special. It's like industry defining when people can come in and be like, you guys are making so much out of nothing. And I feel like that is the type of thing where it's like, that gets us things like the Borderlands show, which are an amazing opportunity because already doing that show has gotten opportunities where I've had so many people reach out to me. People have reached out to you just like, oh shit, well, could we do this for our thing?
Yeah, let's do an
And it's
astral
like-
chain show.
But what I love is like we're
Blessings
not,
in. I'm in.
but it's like maybe we need to hire you then because like we wouldn't do that.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like we still are in that place where we're only going to do what we're passionate about, and it's like
Yeah, that's the thing. Talking about Cool Greg, right? Is like when somebody interviews another person that really knows that person's work from both a fan perspective, but like almost a journalistic perspective as well, that's when I get very excited. And the fact that Cool Greg was able to do that interview is going to be infinitely better than if even you were to do the interview. You know what I mean?
100%.
And that's
a
fucking
thing
great.
that I don't think that is going to be understood about this Sasha Banks.
It's not a knock against you, by the way.
It's
yeah.
not at all.
Yeah.
It's like I just don't fucking know. But my brother obviously freaking the fuck out for the last week since he heard that he was going to do
Hasn't
this.
slept in 7
Has
days.
not slept at all. Has had so much Red Bull. I'm a little worried about.
was
him.
really scared that the show was going to be live.
Yeah. Like he was
like,
freaking out about every single aspect of it.
I get that.
And And it gets to the point where I was kind of like, hey, do you want me on the table with you? Do you want me to host it and you just be there? Like, do you want me to just be on shotgun? Like, what do you want to make you feel good? And he was like kind of weighing all the options. And he didn't know until this morning where he was just like, hey, I want you on shotgun. I'm going to be here. But then he was like, I don't want you to be on shotgun from the beginning. I want you to come in like a couple minutes in. Let me like get through the intro because I don't want to get nervous with you there or whatever. I'm like, cool, dude. I got whatever. I didn't even need to go on shotgun, Mike. He took it, ran, and just did the entire thing. And it's just like, that is the type of professionalism that I would have never expected from my brother of all people.
No,
but it's
great.
like, Kind of Funny has allowed that to foster and grow in him and in all of us. And it's like, we all have each other's backs in such an amazing way. And it's not just us. It's not just people at the table. It's not just the people in the building, but it's like people like Roger, you know, that we work with. People like Cameron Kennedy, who does all of the in-review intros and stuff. It's like,
great
we
job.
have such an amazing network of people. And now, motherfucking Blessing, like, I want to hire you one day. You know what I mean? I want you to be part of this group because you've already proven it to me. It's like all it takes, legitimately, all it takes to get a job at Kind of Funny is to impress me at being talented at something that we need and to be someone that I want to hang out with and can hang out with. Andy is a perfect testament to that. I hung out with you one time. I'm like, this is my fucking boy. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to be friends forever. Andy's
So I
fucking
haven't hung
talented
out
as all
since.
hell.
My bad.
Bullshit. That's because you moved here and you're like, I'm done. I'm staying home.
Oh man, you know
forever.
it'd be cool twitching.
He was talking about his wedding the other day. I was like, you won't be mad if I don't go, right?
Motherfucker.
I'm trying to get
Hate
out
him.
of here. I wanted
We
just
should
a
all
quick
do
note.
edibles right before we go.
As Tim finished that well-spoken, heartfelt statement, James Burke walked in the side of the room, looked in, freaked out, and then did like a weird 80s breakdance out, and then realized how dumb it was, and then poked his head right back in and made eye contact with me again. I was like, what's up, James Burke?
You know what we say, ladies and gentlemen, when James Burke shows up, that means we have to go to
End of the
Monday Night
show.
Raw. So we have a post show to do for people over on patreon.com/kindafunny. You can catch it if you go over there. Kick us a few bucks. No bucks to toss our way. No big deal. YouTube.com/kindafunny. Roosterteeth.com. Podcast services around the globe, of course. You can get it each and every Friday. Ads, no pre and post show. Wah wah. No big deal. Blessing,
Yes,
you're here all week.
I am.
You're doing a bunch of different stuff.
I
Kind of Funny
am.
Games Daily, the reaction stream to the PlayStation
State of play, baby.
tomorrow.
Let's go.
Yeah.
How stoked are you for that one?
Dude, I'm
Don't
so
leave me hanging
excited.
there.
Dude, Last
It's
of
gonna
Us 2,
fucking suck.
Batman, whatever it's called.
Whatever the
I'm gonna
fuck.
be waiting for my Last of Us 2 demo with earpods in, watching you guys react to the fucking Batman thing. If Batman happens, Andy, I will punch you in the fucking face.
Punch his ass.
I'm excited, man. You kind of look like the Joker. I kind of look like Batman.
It's
It
like when it's
happens.
Superman.
And he looks more like the Mad Hatter.
Blessing. If
Yes.
somebody watches no more content from you this week, where can they keep up with you elsewhere?
I'm on Twitter at Blessing Jr. That's at Blessing JR. I do so much at okbeast.com. We have a plethora of podcasts. Jumpmaster is our Apex Legends podcast. It's the #1 Apex Legends podcast.
Hell yeah, baby.
Yeah. So check that out. Of course, you can check us out also at the OK Beast podcast, which is our general gaming show, kind of like a mixture between KFGD and Gamescast. We talk about news, talk about impressions, talk about all that good stuff.
Sirens are on
YouTube.com.
our end.
Yeah, Sirens are on it. YouTube.com/OKBeast. And I don't want to pimp too much, and so I'll leave it at that. OKBeast.com.
Check out the video essays on OKBeast.
Yes.
They are fantastic, and they're not just video game focused. It's video games, music, whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
All amazing stuff.
Thank you.
You can catch up on the rest of his plugs over on We Have Cool Friends, airing soonish. I forgot. I tweeted out the thing.
Within a month.
Yeah, exactly. We're jam
We're
packed.
barely showing the party modes that Chloe's on. That's coming out this week.
If you're listening
Wow.
to this podcast in 2020, it's already live. It's live.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
I did it for you, Tim.
You sucked. You fucked it up so bad.
Gave you an extra.
It's time for the post show. What's up, post show kids?
What's up, show kid?
I drank a bunch of beer, so I'm gonna go pee.
Yeah. You're here all week?
Yes.
Right on.
Yeah, I leave Friday night.
Are you going to wrestling with these guys tonight?
Yes, I am. Are you not going?
No.
No? Are you not a wrestling fan?
No,
or?
no.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not. I find them interesting and for the most part fun. But when we went to WrestleMania, it was a blast. When we went to
Royal Rumble.
it was difficult. And I learned a very interesting lesson, which was that I don't want to go to an 18-hour wrestling show after a 6-hour meet and greet or after I've done an international trip. So I bowed out of this one. I wasn't really invited either, but we'll just say for the sake of
You were 100%
we'll just say
invited.
We'll just say for the sake.
You're such a liar.
We'll just say for the sake of argument that I was invited and that someone brought it to my attention. Then I politely passed on it. Are you a wrestling person?
I mean, I used to be. I don't watch it anymore. Mainly because at a certain point my parents cut cable, and so I
Yeah.
just I didn't really have the option, and I just fell out of it. But like for a good 2 or 3 years, from 2007 to 2009, I was super into it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
What an era to be
Dude,
into
it was John Cena versus Randy Orton. It was Hornswoggle being Vince McMahon's son. Such a dude.
Honestly, 2007 to 2009 WWE is
It was wild.
it's wild and raw.
Yeah.
That was, I'd say, a darker age.
Yeah, it was. It was strange. I think they had just brought back ECW. It was a lot of things going on. But also I got the introduction of Kofi Kingston, the introduction of R-Truth, who I don't know, is he still wrestling?
That's when he was Jamaican, right?
That's when Kofi Kingston was Jamaican, yes.
Yeah.
And dude, somebody told me the other day that he's actually Ghanaian, and it blew my mind because I was like, this whole time I thought he was Jamaican. It's wild.
He sold it, man.
He really
R
sold
Truth's
it.
still doing. R Truth's bigger now than he's ever been.
Is he really?
Yeah, because they introduced this thing called the 24/7 title, which is something they should have had the entire time of wrestling. It's a title that can be challenged at any moment, 24/7, as long as there's a ref. And they are doing the greatest
So
things.
fucking
Where
fun.
they did a thing where he was just driving, and it's like they don't do these type of bits anymore in wrestling.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're doing it's amazing, but it'll cut from the ring to R-Truth, and he's just driving. He gets pulled over by
Somebody
a
crashed
cop,
into his car.
and then the cop challenges some shit, and a ref just comes out of nowhere.
That's awesome.
That is the best.
That's
is the best.
so cool. Nick, I haven't really
Hi, Jay.
talked to you.
Sure.
Because you came in later than everybody
Very
else.
late, yeah.
I want to talk about stand-up comedy.
Sure.
Because I really love stand-up comedy.
Are you thinking about doing it?
I've thought about doing it before.
Yeah.
But
Jump in,
I
man.
don't know, man. I'm scared. That's what it seems like.
You will vomit
Yeah.
before.
It is. It's very stressful at first, but like everything, you acclimate to it, and then you just get more comfortable the more you do it. And then after a few years, you can just pretty much go up on any stage, and with the exception of some rare stages, and you feel good and you have fun. I think it's one of the most rewarding pastimes a person can have, and I think that I would say be cautious of doing it because you'll get addicted very fast and want to do it all the
Really?
time. Yeah, it's really, really fun.
Awesome.
If you like live performance, it's the best type of it because it is just you and the audience, and it's the most rawest form of it. And anything can happen, and you can say whatever you want, and within reason. And and
not anything you want.
Let me stop. You
Let's
can't
talk to
you can
Rob
say-
Schneider
let's talk
about
about
what you
the
can
Jews.
say.
you can say whatever you want, but the audience reaction is you can't be controlled, and so that is a very raw and intimate and crazy form of art that I really, really like. And I've seen people go up on stage and say crazy shit, and it just works. And then I've seen those same people 2 months later do that same act, and
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
Eat shit.
And not only eat shit, but like the audience, I'm gonna walk out on these people.
Wow.
And it's crazy. And so, but it's really, really fun. And every time I see a new special drop, or I see one of my buddies, Andrew Arolfo, just did his first late night set. He just did James Corden.
Oh,
wow.
That's
And
awesome.
They put it on Facebook, and I was like, no fucking way. And I clicked on the link, and it was like James Corden introduces him, and he comes out of the curtain, and he does the same 5 minutes that I've seen him do. And I saw him about maybe 5 months ago, at this cool little club called The Setup, which is down in Tenderloin area. And I saw him recording that set, that 5 minutes.
Oh wow.
And I think it was to send it to the people, the Corden people, and he got it. And it's just wild to see someone who's just been grinding for 6-7 years finally get that
Recognition,
spot, that
yeah.
recognition.
That's
And
fucking rad.
he did at the same time. Another Bay Area local did, I think, another late show. And it's just cool. It's awesome to see the people that put the work in get a little bit of a payoff there. But anyway, I love it, and I need to do it more.
Have there been any stand-up sets you've seen recently that you thought were really great, or stand-up specials or anything?
Have you seen Chappelle's newest special?
I have seen specials.
What
I
did you
have
think?
mixed thoughts about it
A lot of people have mixed thoughts about
because
it.
I didn't really love the first 30 minutes of it, but it's weird because probably what was probably the most risky joke was probably my favorite, which is when he was talking about school shootings and when he was talking about how they have school shooting drills now, and you know, the kid who's probably gonna shoot up the schools in the back, like taking
Taking
notes.
notes.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. But there were like a lot of his like when he focused, and this is the thing that like now I have mixed thoughts on comedians doing is when they acknowledge cancel culture and all that stuff, because I feel like
What you just ruined?
There went the light.
oh man, I feel like when you directly acknowledge that stuff, it feels weird to me. But
Well,
like I watched Bill Burr's special.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
It's
Is it good?
It's so at first I was like, oh no, he's doing it, but then like at a certain point I was like, oh no, he's actually like making this work.
He like pulls it off in a way.
He pulls it off. and I
Bill
did not-
Burr he's a fucking.
I didn't expect to like it
killer.
as much as I did, and he like actually like, because he plays the heel. It's almost like watching wrestling where he's like, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
You're gonna know I'm the bad guy. I'm gonna talk about all these things. I'm gonna offend the mess out of you, but like I'm playing the role, and you can tell he's playing the role, and so I think it works in the way that Dave Chappelle, I don't feel like is really playing the role of the bad guy.
The problem I have with Dave Chappelle's special, and I still think it's brilliant, but the issue that I have is that in order to be topical and develop an hour, like you have to develop an hour over the span of the minimum amount of time is 2 years, right? How do you be topical and have a hot take on something after it's already been in the news and been commented on for 2 years, right? And this is the problem you're seeing with a lot of these people, especially with cancel culture, is that his takes are all stuff I saw on Twitter like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, and that's the
right?
thing, like when he
Same with Chris Rock. Chris Rock had that joke about the gun control and like the common argument you hear of like, well, someone could still kill someone with a knife, and Chris Rock had that moment, which I personally thought was funny because I thought his performance was good in it. But it's not. That's a joke I've heard so many fucking times
and
before.
that's the same thing I had with Dave Chappelle, where I feel like, you know, some of his jokes about like LGBTQ and like when he started talking about like the alphabet folks and all that stuff, I was kind of like, these jokes seem so old.
Basic as fuck.
Yeah, they're so old.
They're basic and they're not what I would expect. That was so you talked about the first 30 minutes. I thought the first minutes was great because that was when he had the Anthony Bourdain stuff and the Michael Jackson stuff. I thought that was
The
hilarious.
Michael Jackson stuff was good.
That was fucking
The
great.
Anthony Bourdain show was pretty good.
But the middle stuff where he really, you could tell he was like, I'm gonna go into this darker territory with the alphabet stuff. I just didn't think it was very well developed. I didn't think it was as smart as I know Dave Chappelle can do, because I legitimately think Dave Chappelle is a genius. Like I think he is probably one of the best comics ever. And I think
he's my number.
It's impossible to not argue that.
Him or Eddie Murphy are probably my number one.
Well, he's coming back too.
Yeah, he is coming back, and I'm really excited
Yeah,
about
I'm
it.
terrified about it.
I'm very curious about it because he definitely cannot do the same thing he did in the 80s.
Oh, he can't. Well, he can. He can.
He can try.
But it ain't gonna go over
He
well.
won't stand in the fire for
if
that.
he does it like this same way.
See, the thing that's the power of comedy right now is that there is a lot of crazy. He wants you to open it up and read it. He wrote you a little
I'm
note.
scared.
The thing about stand up right now is that it's more relevant and more important than ever.
It's a private
And it's
meal.
Come on,
it's
Barrett,
very
Jesus.
important that people that we have, because I consider comedians the modern day philosophers. They're the ones that help us interpret what's happening in the world, and they do that through comedy, but they also do that through the genius of comedy, which is when done well is to broach a topic like the LGBT community and give us a perspective on that we maybe haven't seen before, because there is, no matter, like, I don't care what subject it is, I don't care how taboo it is, there's stuff to pick apart with every single thing out there.
Oh, yeah.
Right. There's absurdities that you can point out in any aspect of life, and I think that's the power of what Dave Chappelle can do. I just don't think he did it as well as he needed to do it if he's going to be in that fire.
Yeah, and like that's my thing.
In that
is, like,
specific, in that 20-minute period where he was talking about the gay community.
Because like the way I view a lot of comedy, right, is like you can go up and you can make a racist joke.
Yeah.
But if the joke's not funny, then it's just racist.
See, I will, but I will go as far as to say you can go up and play with the idea, the notion of racism, but it has to be smart and it has to be a commentary on racism. Because I see this a lot with a lot of new comics. They go up and they say stuff, and I've been guilty of this too. I've said jokes that I'm not proud of in the past, where I'm like, "Ooh, that's low-hanging fruit. That's a racial stereotype, or that's something that I know I'm better than that." And I look back on that and go, "But that was me in development." How do you develop that material when you're like Dave Chappelle or where you're Eddie Murphy? Like, how's Eddie Murphy gonna fucking develop an hour without being at the comedy store or the comic strip or Catch a Rising Star? Like, how's he gonna do this, right? But I think it's really, really important that people do broach those hard topics, because I think on one level, broaching the topic of racism is very, very important, because it helps make it more. It helps take it down from 10,000 feet to a level where people can actually have a conversation about it. That to me is the power of comedy. That to me is what why we need it is because everyone's so riled up about a lot of topics right now. Having a comedian come in and take the sting out of it a little bit and deflate it a little bit makes it a little bit easier for, I think, everyone to talk about it, if done correctly. If not done correctly, it just fucking rages and then the fire goes crazier and that's nuts.
Which is why like I really loved Bill Burr's special.
I gotta watch it. Now I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Dude, it's so good.
He has one joke in the trailer that got me, which I was like, okay, I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
Where he's like, my wife and I are doing a lot of work about me. It's always we're always just working on me. Like, and if you're married, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That really hits home with me.
Dude,
it's a hacky joke, but
Yeah.
it's funny.
It's
It's
definitely
relatable.
one of those ones where at first I was like, oh no, he's like,
Bill Burr is. You have to remember, Bill Burr's been around for a long time,
yeah.
and this is not his. This is like his. What, like, gotta be 9th or 10th special.
True story. I do not know what Bill Burr looks
Yeah, you
like.
do.
Everybody keeps mentioning him. I have no idea. And I mean, I don't mean this conversation. I mean, like,
Have you ever seen Breaking Bad?
yes.
He's the redhead near
Got
the
it.
end
Thank
of
you
the
very
series.
much.
Yeah.
Fixed it. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've
Cool.
seen
He
Bill
works
Burr.
with the. He's like one of the enforcers.
Yeah,
They lay
yeah.
down
He's
the
like
money
the really
together.
where they lay
okay.
down on the money.
Cool.
Boom.
He's
Yeah,
very.
I do
He
know
has a
James Burr.
very thick like Boston accent.
Yeah,
like
he's
Irish
very
Boston
aggressive.
accent.
He's great.
He's fucking hilarious. His joke about how to. Okay, he's so inappropriate.
Yeah,
Watch it. Don't say
I
it, Nick.
saw-
Tell
I
them
saw
to watch
gonna-
it.
'cause I'm
I
not
saw
gonna-
Michael James asking basic to my basic comment on the the alphabet joke. Yeah, I think it's a basic joke.
joke
'cause
that
I think
everybody says?
if I can think of that joke,
Yeah.
I think it's a basic
or
joke.
like if I can pull those tweets from 2013 and it's the same joke,
Yeah, exactly.
then it's a basic joke.
Yeah, I just think it's like a very like low hanging
Yeah.
fruit, not
So the way he set it up, I thought was basic. The meat of the joke, like the people being in the car together and,
Oh, I
and
thought
using
that
that,
was awful.
but
I
using that
hated
as I think there's
Yeah, I hated
something
that too.
there. I think that using that as to sort of explain the different what I thought was smart about the joke to not shit on it was that he was using the car analogy as a way to say, hey, these are very distinct different movements that are being lumped together by the one that's the most popular right now, which is the trans movement, right? The transgender movement. I thought there was something there. I feel like if I were his manager or I were the person producing the show, I'm like, you got to develop this just a little bit more because there is something there. And to a person like me, I've never thought of it that way. Like I don't spend a ton of time thinking about the LGBT community, but so I by definition, and this is a fallacy on my own part, lump all that in together as one movement. He was the first person that in a while has pointed out to me, hey, no, those are separate movements. Like these are different people living different lives that want different things, universally acceptance, but going about it different ways. I thought that was really smart and clever. But I just think that when you start saying the L's and the T's and the G's and the pluses, you start sounding like my grandpa.
Yeah,
And that's really out of touch. And Dave Chappelle's not out of touch. And so that was what I was disappointed with that.
Yeah.
But to open the whole fucking thing with an Anthony Bourdain suicide joke, Jesus Christ. Like,
Swing for the
coming at it
fences.
fucking hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's your show. What?
I'm very confused by this.
Hey, we'll explain it off air. Is that like since I have to go to Last of Us tomorrow, I had to get rid of the tickets, and then so me and Jen aren't going, so then I don't know who else is
So
going.
is anybody
anymore.
going to SmackDown tomorrow?
I don't know.
I mean, I figured like, oh, that's the one Xavier's on.
Yeah, I know. That's why I really wanted to, but thanks, Sony. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your post show for the well, bye.
I guess I'm going.
Okay.
Bye. Hey, bye, everybody. Patreon. Thanks for your help. I love you.